It's Thursday, July 23rd. Today, the body of a missing 10-year-old boy recovered. The latest on the search efforts for two boys who disappeared in some rapids in the Whiteshell as Mounties confirm the pair's identities. Also today, clean up or pay up. A local landlord outraged after being told to clean up a nearby homeless camp. Why the city says it's his responsibility. Plus, to the rescue, how conservation officers helped a pod of beluga whales stranded in Churchill shallow waters. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. I'm Daniel Homerson, joined by Catherine Dow on weather. We're getting you set for your Thursday as we inch even closer to the weekend. Just a couple days away. Lots happening around the province this weekend, including the Gimli Film Festival. We'll hear from the executive director a little later on the show on that. And Ainsley McPhail's out in East St. Paul today. She's with Cycling with Sarah. It's Manitoba's first senior women's cycling club.
Cool.
Yeah, she's going to learn about kind of the joy and benefits of cycling, the sisterhood of this group, and how they're also giving back to the community. So really looking forward to that. Maybe a good morning to get out cycling before it heats up too much, Catherine?
Yeah, that's just it. If you don't love the extreme heat, not many folks do. The early morning hours are where it's at because it's 17 degrees, so still relatively warm. Sunny and hazy, though, with that smoke. Our air quality degraded by that ongoing wildfire situation in northern Manitoba and northwestern Ontario. Winds currently out of the southwest at 15 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 85%. So yes, it doesn't register on our radar. As you all know at this point, there's a good amount of smoke still lingering here in southern Manitoba. You can see a couple flare-ups here or there or scattered thunderstorms in central Manitoba, but for the most part it's a calm morning. Of course, as we see the smoke here, it is much more intense to the northwest in and around where those blazes actually are. As such, air quality warnings still in effect in those areas lit up in white. Doesn't look to be easing anytime soon, so needless to say, do take those precautions, limit your time outside when the smoke is there, because yes, we know it can be quite dangerous for us. Even if we don't have any pre-existing conditions, it can be difficult. Meanwhile, we're still hoping for some more rainfall to the area that has those fires. So you can see that system on the very tip top of your screen there, moving in, likely to bring rain and thunderstorms to the north, and it fans out pretty nicely over the entire region throughout the day. Then we're likely to join the party tomorrow. Look at this. The back end of it fans out over the south, bringing rainfall thunderstorms likely overnight to the southwest, and then joining us tomorrow. But it clips out so quickly. That means setting the stage for a lovely sunny weekend to come. One thing we're not going to be losing is that heat. 30 degrees today, just cooling off slightly under those showers. And then into Saturday, sunny and gorgeous with a high of 29.
The body of one of two brothers last seen going under the water at Nudimick Lake this past weekend has been found near the lake's shore. At around 7:30 Wednesday evening, Mounties say they recovered the body of 10-year-old Maximo Ramirez. He is the younger of the two brothers swept into fast-moving rapids Saturday near Sturgeon Falls Trail in the Whiteshell. His 13-year-old brother, Aaron Ramirez, may have jumped in to save him, but neither of the boys were seen resurfacing. The discovery of Maximo's body comes after search efforts ramped up Wednesday, with additional dive teams and fire departments coming to help search Nudimick Lake.
Some friends of families are just coming in to do, wellness checks on them. Very, very grateful that sisters and brothers have been able to show up.
Search efforts to locate 13-year-old Aaron Ramirez continue. A landlord is furious the city is ordering him to clean up garbage from a homeless encampment. The camp is behind one of his buildings, and a compliance order says if he doesn't do it, the city will do it for him and charge him the cost to his property tax bill. CTV's Jeff Keel explains.
Behind this apartment building on Balmoral Street, a homeless riverbank encampment has been here for years. With it comes these piles of debris. People have cut this fence to shelter under the building's parking lot too, and there have been fires.
Needles, all of the traits of an encampment are crystal clear.
The province and city have been working together to remove encampments. So landlord Marvin Sharp was shocked when his property management company received an order from the city to clean up this mess or else.
I was furious.
The order states all garbage, which may include tents, must be removed and the site cleaned up, or the city will do it and put the costs on his property tax bill. A penalty fee for non-compliance could also be tacked on.
The city and the political people who are supposed to be responsible for this have decided their best action is to dump the problem on someone else.
The city says enforcement officers are dispatched based on complaints. In this case, the city says crews observed abandoned goods, furniture, and other materials at the rear of the building's property. Please note that the city responds to encampments on public property. If someone is concerned about an individual experiencing homelessness or an encampment, they can report this to 311. For situations involving private property, the property owner may contact the Winnipeg Police Service. But Area Councillor Sherry Rowland says putting this on the property owner is unacceptable.
Beyond being unfair, it's illogical, and it is a crazy commentary on where public safety is at in this city.
Sharp says he has called police in the past. He's appealing the order.
Let's hope something good comes out of this and the city wakes up.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The landlord has 14 days to file an appeal with the city's Community Services Committee at a cost of $250. Amid the latest looming tariff threat from the U.S. President, Premier Wab Kinew struck a defiant tone Wednesday at the First Ministers' meeting in PEI.
It's clear that the booze bans are having an impact. And as we negotiate and try to remind Americans that the cost of living is more expensive because of Donald Trump, because of his tariffs, and because of his war in Iran, we're going to continue using those tools that give us leverage. And the booze bans are one of those tools.
Asked if he was open to Canada leveraging energy exports to the U.S. in trade talks, Kinew said Trump's war in Iran has already increased gas prices, quote, more than we ever could. Instead, he said Canada needs to pick its battles and alluded back to the booze ban and other measures the federal government is considering. However, he refused to get into specifics. Kinew was also asked whether the separation movement in Alberta and the rise of separatist politicians in Quebec is fraying national unity.
Well, there's that old saying, right? Like a single arrow can be broken easily, but a bundle of arrows cannot be snapped. And so national unity is important, especially when we're going up against a much larger opponent like the American economy.
Kinew and his counterparts will be meeting with the Prime Minister today. Kinew says he expects to hear more details of the ongoing CUSMA negotiations and potential next steps. Meantime, Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet with Canada's premiers today as they look for an answer to the latest tariff threat from the U.S.
Speak for Ontario, everything's on the table. We can't keep rolling over for Donald Trump.
I think that the Prime Minister has heard from us that we want to make sure that we get a good deal.
The premiers are united in their opposition to the 50% tariffs, but they differ on how to respond. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is pushing for diplomacy. Others, like Ontario Premier Doug Ford and BC Premier David Eby, are suggesting Canada hold back electricity and natural resources. When they sit down with the Prime Minister today, premiers are also expected to bring up issues like healthcare funding and energy security. A new set of graphic health warnings is on its way to cigarette packages across Canada. The new designs highlight the health impacts of smoking for both smokers and those around them. The images are the fourth set of warnings mandated by Health Canada since 2000. They aim to reduce tobacco use to less than 5% by 2035. The updated messaging will be required on packaging by August 1st. Federal workers have until tomorrow to apply for an early retirement program. In December, about 68,000 public servants were given notice saying they're eligible for early retirement. So far, more than 9,000 workers have applied. Federal workers approved for early retirement will need to retire by January next year. Now, here's something you probably never thought you would see.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action.
All right, so that's a mountain bike flying off a hot air balloon. This is Elias from Austria, and he has now become the first to ever ride a mountain bike on a hot air balloon. This took 2 years of practicing, prepping and planning. Organizers say it's a true moment to never believe anything is impossible. Well, taking a look at the current traffic situation on McPhillip Street there, very calm right now. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us at 10400. Out in East St. Paul this morning is our Ainsley McPhail. How you doing, Ainsley?
Danny, if I asked 30 of my friends or more, I don't think I have more than 30 friends, to come out to East St. Paul and cycle at 6 in the morning, I don't think I'd get the same response as Sarah did. And in 2023, when she started cycling with Sarah, it grew and grew and grew, and it's got nearly 100 members now, 65 on the wait list. These women, 55 plus, coming from all different areas and backgrounds of life. Some of them have a vast background in cycling and have cycled 100 kilometers. Others use e-bikes and use it for pleasure. But at the end of the day, it's friendship, getting active, and building community. They're doing that also through fundraising and through just enjoying each other's time throughout the year, even into the winter as well. So stay with us throughout the morning. I'm going to hang out with my more than 30 friends, and 30 people this early? Man, couldn't be me.
Good for them. Well, Catherine, it looks like a beautiful start to the morning out in East St. Paul. And how about on the roof down here in downtown Winnipeg?
It's lovely, but it's breezy out here, Danny. Currently out of the southwest at 18 kilometers per hour. It's also oddly beautiful. We have this rising sun. It's a little bit hazy, though, with that wildfire smoke. That part not beautiful. But yes, this lovely sunrise in this crystal clear sky. Winds again are out of the southwest, and they're expected to ramp up throughout the day. Barometric pressure rising at 84%. Our humidity, 17, is our current temperature. Those temperatures are set to heat up big time in southern Manitoba. We're looking at highs in the upper 20s to low 30s in our case here in Winnipeg, 30-degree being our high. Lots of sunshine, and yes, unfortunately, the smoke still lingering. Southwesterly winds ramping up. Meanwhile, we're tracking a low pressure system likely to bring rain and thunderstorms first to the northwest today and then sweeping further into the northeast, maybe later this afternoon or overnight. Temperatures there are still pretty hot, especially in the northwest, where they don't want that humidity because of those wildfires. Then we join the party tomorrow. Rain and thunderstorms likely in Winnipeg. I'm going to take a break and fix my hair because this wind is not helping, but stay with us. So much more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Winnipeg continues to have one of the highest crime severity rates in the country. However, according to Statistics Canada's latest report, the rate fell faster in our city than most of the rest of the country last year. The Crime Severity Index is a standard way of measuring both the number of crimes per capita and how serious they are. In 2025, Winnipeg had the fifth highest rate in the country, but it also fell by 9%, nearly double the national decline. Countrywide, the crime severity rate fell for the second straight year, driven by fewer break-in enters, vehicle thefts, and homicides. Some aspiring scientists and doctors are receiving some hands-on training here in Winnipeg this week.
Once you have a 3D data set, there's a ton of stuff you can do.
The Biomedical Youth Program Summer Camp at the University of Manitoba Bannatyne campus is welcoming around 125 grade 6 to 12 students, including 15 Indigenous high school students from northern Manitoba. Over the week, they're exploring careers in the health and biomedical sciences through a series of workshops. On Wednesday, that included 3D microscopy, heart dissection, and plasmid isolation. A Winnipeg dermatologist has been reprimanded by the College of Physicians for misconduct involving female patients. Dr. Earl Manouk pleaded guilty to professional misconduct, contravening the code of ethics, and displaying a lack of skill, knowledge, or judgment in the practice of medicine. He has been ordered to cease practicing medicine, but will be permitted to provide laser treatment of vascular lesions and treatment of skin cancer moles. The complaint stemmed from incidents that took place between 2021 and 2022. Manouk has been licensed to practice dermatology and internal medicine medicine in Manitoba since 1989. He was previously reported to the CPSM in 2009 and was required to have a female chaperone when interacting with female patients. A possible tornado caused heavy damage in Quebec's Laurentians region.
We just take my mother, the dog, the kids, and just stay all together. I was thinking if tomorrow I'm gonna be alive. Like, I was terrifying.
The storm on Tuesday tore through the town of Harrington. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but the community is now left cleaning up the damage left behind. The storm knocked down trees, making many roads impassable. At one point, hundreds of homes were without power. No confirmation yet, but Environment Canada believes the storm was a tornado. Canadian Blood Services is appealing for donations due to a shortage in the country's blood supply. CBS says the national supply has declined by nearly 20% since June 1st. There is now limited supply of several blood types, which the service says is not sustainable for patient care. Roughly 18,000 appointments a week are needed to keep up with hospital demand, but over the past 6 weeks, they've fallen short by 1,500 to 2,500. A spokesperson in Winnipeg says as a direct result of that drop, they're keeping fewer units of blood on hand. A wildlife rescue near Churchill, Manitoba, after 7 stranded white beluga whales were discovered in shallow water. CTV's Alex Karp on how conservation officers saved the day.
Yeah, water is coming.
This video captures a rare sight. 7 beluga whales stranded in shallow water along the shores of Hudson Bay.
Splash the water on them and that baby start moving around.
Churchill's conservation received a report of a white object in the water covered by seagulls. Owen Jones went to investigate and found 3 adult belugas and 4 calves stranded by low tides.
They were in distress. I could hear the young calves crying out.
The whales were just 60 meters offshore in shallow 1.5-meter water. Jones and Vitaly Skrinik stayed with them for hours, protecting them from polar bears.
They splashed each and every animal with the water.
Skrinik says the whales were relatively unharmed besides the injuries from the seagulls pecking them. After a couple of hours, the ordeal was over as the tide rose and the whales swam to safety.
To finally see them be able to swim and become mobile, it was amazing.
Around 55,000 beluga whales gather in the western Hudson Bay throughout the summer months. Marine expert Emma Austin says she's never seen or heard of a situation like this before in central Arctic Canada.
Belugas are known to get closer to the shore to escape predators like killer whales, but it could be that they were potentially on the shore trying to rub up against the bottom for their seasonal molting, and they just got trapped or confused.
Both Skrinik and Jones haven't been stationed in Churchill for long, but they say this rescue is already an event they'll never forget.
Now I know if I'm going to be asked officer, what was your best story during your line of duty? Like 100% it's his whales.
Alex Carper, CTV News, Winnipeg.
You don't hear this often at most summer camps.
Don't listen, invest.
This camp blends the usual fun and games with academics and financial literacy. Its founder, Jay, held the first camp in 2010. Since then, more than 9,000 kids have signed up in the Montreal area. Some of the former campers are now working at the camp. Jay helps his workers open brokerage accounts with their paychecks.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
Some road closures to remind you about this morning following the rush on Balmoral Street. The southbound middle lane will be closed from Sargent to Capel Avenue. The northbound curb lane on Osborne will be closed between Arnold and Mulvey Avenue. And on Portage, the eastbound curb lane will be closed from Furby Street to St. Mary Avenue. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us at 10400.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Financial literacy camp. The only thing I did as a child to think about my future was buy Beanie Babies. I really thought that was my key to early retirement. Could have used that camp. Alrighty, getting outside right now, 17 degrees, pretty hazy as you can see to kick off this Thursday. A good amount of sunshine underneath all that smoke. Winds out of the southwest at 18 kilometers per hour. Pressure's rising, humidity sitting at 84%. Yes, we were hoping a shift in the winds yesterday was going to disperse some of that wildfire smoke, but as you could see on our live eye there, Still pretty smoky out there in southern Manitoba and through much of the province. Not a lot to show you about to kick us off on the radar. A couple of scattered thunderstorms here or there, potentially in central regions of our province, but nothing terribly substantial or organized. Meanwhile, air quality warnings, when we speak about the smoke, persisting in the northwest where those blazes are burning and have been for the last number of weeks. So yes, needless to say, air quality very much degraded, not only here but all throughout the province. For us here in Winnipeg, that haze and smoke will likely continue throughout the day, as will the sunshine, getting up to 20 degrees in the morning and by the afternoon sweltering at 28, 29 by the early evening, and we'll do it one better for our high, 30 degrees above seasonal, obviously, alongside some pretty strong southwesterly winds at 20 kilometers per hour. Overnight, temperatures dipping down to 20, smoke and a few clouds do persist, and then tomorrow, an incoming system likely to bring rainfall and thunderstorm activity. The haze created a bit of an orange sunset there. Thank you so much to Martha, who snapped this in White Ridge. And if you've got any to share, be sure to email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
It's a long-standing question for coffee lovers. How many cups a day is okay? Well, an American health organization claims the answer is 5. According to the American Health Association, 5 cups of coffee a day may actually help heart health rather than sabotage it. The organization says with the average cup being about 250 milliliters, that amount of coffee can help cardiovascular health in some people and is generally safe. The AHA adds that while a moderate dose of coffee can help some people, highly concentrated forms of caffeine like energy drinks can have negative impacts, including anxiety. The study looked at dozens of research papers on heart health and general well-being. I'm at about 5 myself, so that's good. Scientists believe they have discovered the reason behind mysterious black patches that are showing up on fish in Canada and the U.S. It turns out it's a form of transmissible skin cancer contained to a particular kind of fish. CTV's Jean-Pierre Beauchemin on the potential lessons about how cancer is spread.
Below the surface of majestic Lake Memphremagog, researchers discovered a strange phenomenon, a contagious cancer spreading among brown bullhead catfish.
One of the things we're thinking about is this actually more common and we just don't know about it?
The finding opens broader questions about the spread of cancer generally, but also about environmental stressors. Anglers began flagging black velvety growths on their catch more than a decade ago, concerned there was a virus or a pollutant causing disease.
They were concerned about seeing these diseased fish with these, inky black tumors.
Wildlife biologists eventually determined a rare skin cancer was afflicting more than a third of brown bullhead catfish in the lake. DNA testing eventually led U.S. scientists to conclude the cancer was actually spreading from fish to fish. They hypothesized it started with one catfish with a tumor shedding cancerous cells. Now, this is only the 4th type of transmissible cancer identified in the animal kingdom, the first in fish or freshwater species. Contagious forms have also been found in the Tasmanian devil, clams, and dogs. The discovery could help study melanoma in humans and perhaps other cancers. Could it tell us more about potential transmission of certain cancers in humans?
I think it could. In humans as well, the cancer is avoiding the immune system somehow.
There's no evidence that cancerous catfish cancer could spread to humans. Still, wildlife officials warn anglers not to eat the fish with tumors. Researchers are asking anglers who find a fish with a black patch to report it so they can get as much information as possible. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Magog, Quebec.
People in Australia are willing to travel great distances for this loaf of bread. There's a historic bakery located in the outback town of Farina. It was built more than 100 years ago and uses traditional wood ovens. Farina was abandoned during the 80s, but the bakery was rediscovered about 17 years ago. It now opens 8 weeks a year and it's run by a team of volunteers. People come from all across Australia for a taste. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
The smoke still very much lingering over southern Manitoba. You can see it's looking kind of dystopic out there. 17 degrees beneath all that smoke, a good amount of sunshine. Winds out of the southwest at 18 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising. humidity at 84%. Yeah, we were hoping a shift in winds yesterday was going to help move some of that smoke out, but as you can see, very much still lingering, making its presence known here in the south. Meanwhile, some scattered thunderstorm activity currently showing up on the radar in central portions of the province. If you're seeing anything at all, it'll probably be very short-lived and not terribly substantial. Meanwhile, the rest of the province, and particularly the northwest, while everyone is seeing the remnants of these wildfires, it's most acutely felt in the northwest, where air quality warnings have been ongoing for the last number of days. As the winds do shift into the coming weekend, those could potentially expand further down south, actually. For us here in Winnipeg, we still have that smoke for sure, less so than in the north. Temperatures very hot today, starting an upward climb, 30 degrees, 26 is what's seasonal. Winds will be strong out of the southwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Overnight, clouds lingering, smoke as well, temperatures dipping to 20 degrees, and those southwesterly winds persisting. And then into tomorrow, while we see a touch of a drop off in our temperatures at 29 degrees, a low pressure system tracking in through the southwest, likely to bring rain and thunderstorms in the late morning, early afternoon. Temperatures again at 29 degrees with southerly winds really ramping up at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Into the weekend, hot and sunny. 29, tons of sunshine, even hotter into Sunday, 30 degrees. Not much of a drop off into the start of next week, but a reminder, I know I sound like a broken record, but with these conditions being so hot, all that moisture out there in the atmosphere, always a chance of some convective activity, a stray thunderstorm or two.
Police are warning the public to be vigilant after they say a woman was sexually assaulted at random in central Winnipeg Sunday evening. It happened in this area on the south side of Portage Avenue near the intersection with Broadway and near a side street called Picardy Place. Police say the woman was grabbed, threatened and pulled into an alcove where she was choked, robbed and sexually assaulted. The suspect is described as a man in his 30s, approximately 6 feet tall with a heavy build and short spiky dark hair. He was wearing black shorts and shoes and no shirt. Anyone with information or video footage is asked to contact the Sex Crimes Unit or Crime Stoppers. If you've been putting off getting your car inspected for hail damage, you're going to want to move quickly. MPI is winding down its Main Street Hail Response Center. The Crown Corporation says it's doing this in order to focus resources where they are most needed. The last day for appointments will be July 31st, and those scheduled through then will remain on the books. Starting August 1st, the center will return to offering its regular estimating appointments. MPI's Gateway Center will continue offering initial hail assessments. MPI says it's responded to over 34,000 weather-related claims since early June storms. Emergency alerts rang across the province Wednesday afternoon because of a widespread 911 outage. According to Bell, the alert was triggered because callers outside of Winnipeg may not have been able to reach 911. However, shortly after 4 p.m., the telecom company said 911 service had been restored after an unnamed third party cut a fiber cable. It says both wireless and wireline emergency call services are functioning normally again. Bell is the parent company of CTV News. In BC, a new wildfire near the community of Boston Bar has more than quadrupled in size overnight, sparking more evacuations and shutting down major highways. CTV's Shannon Patterson spoke to some evacuees who captured their dramatic escape from the flames on video.
You know, you can see the sparks are falling everywhere. There's a tree on fire.
Tammy Del Podato watched in real time on her doorbell camera as the wildfire burning near Boston Bar roared towards her 100-acre property and farmhouse in North Bend Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, my front one died, so that would have been really good to have. But the back one was filming where the fire was coming from.
The fire flared up while Del Podato and her husband were buying animal feed in Hope. When they returned, they had just minutes to turn on sprinklers, grab their pets, and let their farm animals out of their pens.
By the time I literally got the dogs into the car, the fire was probably not even 500 yards away. I just opened the gate, let the lambs go. Simba, my oldest livestock guardian dog, he just ran. He wouldn't come near us. He was just freaked right out.
They had to leave Simba and their sheep behind.
To look up when you're trying to get your animals and you see that fire so close and you're just like, run babies, run. Trees are going up on, in the ravine.
As they drove towards Surrey, the Del Podatos watched the fire approach on their doorbell camera.
It gives me goosebumps even looking at it. This is over here where the little turkey house is, and that's where the big flare came. and burnt their little house down.
They watched other outbuildings and some vehicles and machinery burn, but didn't know the condition of their beloved farmhouse.
We thought of it as, like our place to retire and do what we wanted to do.
In the early morning hours, the flames died down and structure protection crews arrived on scene.
The guys are walking here. They're carrying buckets. You can still see sparks flying, tons of ash falling. They're doing a great job, if you ask me. They're really trying to save someone's home.
The video feed cut out at 5 a.m. when their generator died. This afternoon, the Del Pedatos got word their home is still standing and their animals safe. A glimmer of good news for a mom who lost her 23-year-old son, Lucien, to cancer 2 years ago.
It was one of his favorite places to come. I just hope, that whatever damage is done, I know we'll rebuild from it and just move forward. It'll just be one of those trials in life that you have to get through.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Surrey.
Cinephiles, filmmakers, and casual movie lovers, it's here. The Gimli International Film Festival is now underway.
What did you say to those who say that you're a war criminal?
MASH doesn't care what anybody thinks.
Well, don't push me. I'm a journalist here.
Independent media is the oxygen of a democracy. What do you mean?
That's Steal This Story, Please, a documentary about journalist Amy Goodman. It's one of dozens of films being screened during the 5-day-long festival, which runs the gamut from dramatic feature films to comedic shorts. The ever-popular beach screenings run nightly through this Sunday at 9:30 p.m. There's also workshops, filmmaking competitions, and networking events. You can find all the details by visiting gimlifilm.com. Taking a look at the current traffic situation on the St. James Bridge, not much to show you there. Send those tips if you do. And taking a look at your gas prices here in Winnipeg, the average is $1.74, a small increase compared to yesterday, and the lowest price in the city is $1.57. All this information is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Ainsley McPhail's out in East St. Paul this morning, riding around with Cycling with Sarah. All those details coming up at 6:42.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Bit of a breezy start to your Thursday and quite smoky as well. Currently 17 degrees. Again, that sunny, hazy sky very much still present here in downtown Winnipeg. Winds out of the southwest at 18 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity at 84%. So yes, we're in store for another very hot day in southern Manitoba. Highs will be peaking in the low 30s in some cases for much of the south, actually, Winnipeg included at 30. Some areas just shy of that in the upper 20s. These southwesterly winds expected to peak at about 20 kilometers per hour off and on throughout the day. Meanwhile, areas to the southwest, particularly the Parkland, this is old hat to you. Once again, a small chance of rain and thunderstorms. A much larger chance of that in the north, where a low pressure system likely to track through, beginning in the northwest and then pushing into the northeast, maybe late afternoon overnight. Temperatures there still pretty hot, particularly in the northwest. Meanwhile, we join the party here in southern Manitoba tomorrow. Plenty of rain and thunderstorms expected tomorrow. We're going to pedal on over to Ainsley McPhail, who's spending the morning with Cycling with Sarah.
And I'm joined by Sarah right now, Sarah Gravel-McKenzie. And it's a great way for women 55 plus to get together. You started this back in 2023. Tell us about the group.
The group has grown so much since 2023. We started out with just 12 ladies and now we're 70. We have 3 chapters. We have the South chapter, the West chapter, and the Northeast. We're here in East St. Paul with our Northeast chapter. And we ride 6 groups a week. Every week we're out riding, which is awesome. And it's all about women's physical and mental and social well-being. That's sort of the goal, get more women on bikes and help them be as physically active as they can while aging.
And there's nothing else really like this out there.
There is nothing. We're Manitoba's first and only senior women's cycling club. And the sort of a testament to that is we have 65 women on the wait list. So yeah, there's not a lot of options for senior women out there.
Well, even you can see on site here how engaged everyone is in each other. How important is that element of community?
Community is really important. I think as women retire, we often sort of feel lonely. We've lost our social connections through work, our work family. And so now we have our cycling family, and we call each other cycling sisters. So yeah, that community piece is really important. That's a really big factor in aging well, too.
Speaking of community, you guys are giving back. How so?
We have donation campaigns that we do every year. So this summer, we'll have Jackie coming up in another segment that talk about the specifics, but part of what we like to do is to celebrate the communities we live in and to support them.
And do you have to be a pro cycler to be in this group?
Absolutely not. Women can start at any place where they're at. So there's no minimum speed. You don't have to have a specific type of bike. It's very inclusive because the fear of getting back to cycling is real for a lot of ladies, right? They haven't ridden in decades possibly. So we want to break down those barriers. And that's why this was an important club to start. There were so many barriers with other clubs.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to spending the morning with the ladies. You can too on Your Morning Winnipeg.
A look at the early markets. The Dow Jones fell 176 points. The Nasdaq is 114 points lower. The S&P index slightly decreased. The Loonie had small gains, set to 71.02 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng is 318 points higher, and the Nikkei added 307 points. A member of the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service has been arrested, accused of breaching a protection order while on duty. Police say last Wednesday, the 59-year-old man was in uniform and driving a fleet vehicle when he drove into an area in violation of an order he was under to keep a certain distance from a protected person. The domestic violence unit assumed the investigation, and he was arrested Tuesday and remains in custody. A police spokesperson says work-related considerations are taken into account when a protection order is issued, and the member was working modified duties at the time of the alleged incident. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew says he's open to the idea of an Alberta to Ontario pipeline.
There's always the questions that get asked about major projects these days. On the other hand, having spent a few days in Portage la Prairie, Manitoba last week, I can tell you there's probably a lot of people who'd like to work on a pipeline.
These were Premier Kinew's first public comments on the project since the proposed pipeline was announced by Alberta and Ontario. The route would run from Hardisty in eastern Alberta to refineries in Sarnia, Ontario. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe has already said he supports the project. U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer is justifying the new U.S. tariffs imposed on Canada, despite concerns over the impact on trade and tourism.
We're fighting against a ban on American liquor on shelves. We're fighting against hard caps on export of American cars. So we've never banned Canadian products. We've never done that kind of thing, but we're fighting against caps on American cheese.
Greer was grilled by U.S. senators over the move, with many of them urging Greer to improve America's relationship with Canada. The senators say Trump's policies are hurting Americans and making life more expensive. They claim costs for the average American family went up by $1,700 last year, and tourism plunged by about 40%. As trade tensions spike, there's still no clarity on CUSMA, the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement. Greer says he's hopeful he'll be able to present some interim options to U.S. President Donald Trump by the end of the year. And confusion over the Gordie Howe Bridge revenue deal is lingering this morning, with opposition leaders criticizing Prime Minister Mark Carney for not being more clear.
It's hard for me to believe that him and his finance minister did not know what they were saying at the time, hoping that scrutiny would erode and that ultimately they'd be able to escape the day.
The agreement says Canada will share 50% of net bridge and crossing-related revenues with the U.S. for the first 15 years. That contradicts what Prime Minister Mark Carney originally told reporters more than 10 days ago, which was that revenues wouldn't be shared with the U.S. until after Canada was repaid its debts. Canada fronted the cost for the $6.4 billion bridge connecting Windsor and Detroit. Under the original deal from 2012, the plan was to split the toll revenue after costs were repaid. In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for the Prime Minister didn't address the shifting message, but did say they expect net revenue to be low in the early years as traffic ramps up, with the right incentives to get to profitability. Federal workers have until tomorrow to apply for an early retirement program. In December, about 68,000 public servants were given notice saying they're eligible for early retirement. So far, more than 9,000 workers have applied. Federal workers approved for early retirement will need to retire by January next year. Apple is now moving to make it easier for people to get their hands on their latest devices. The tech giant is preparing to launch a new device leasing program backed by Klarna. The program will initially be available in the U.S. for eligible Apple models. Well, how does it work? Customers will be able to upgrade to a new device sooner and put it on a leased payment plan. Then they can upgrade, purchase, or return devices at the end of their lease term. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush on Balmoral Street, the southbound middle lane will be closed from Sargent to Capel Avenue. The northbound curb lane on Osborne Street will be closed between Arnold and Mulvey Avenue. And on Portage, the eastbound curb lane will be closed from Furby Street to St. Mary Avenue. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us.
Taking a check-in outside on your Thursday morning, 17 degrees under sunny but very hazy skies with all that smoke. Winds out of the southwest at 18 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising. Humidity at 84%. So yeah, smoke has been a problem for us, but not to the extent it has been for the northwest. Obviously, that's in and around where those wildfires are burning. And there's been air quality warnings in effect for the last number of days. Doesn't look to be changing anytime soon. In fact, the temperatures aren't really helping matters. Getting very hot today in that region. Details on that in a moment. But first, let's go to the northeast. It's pretty much the coolest spot of our province is the words I'm trying to find here. So more moderate temperatures, but seasonal, not like we're going to be seeing in the rest of Manitoba. 20 degrees in Gillam, mix of sun and clouds. 16 in Churchill. Slight chance of rain and thunderstorms in Thompson and Island Lake. Your stronger chance of precipitation likely coming overnight. Meanwhile, it's likely to begin earlier in the day in Lynn Lake and Norway House with that same incoming system that'll drift into the northeast. I mentioned those hot highs in and around Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, La Pas, 29 degrees. Again, not helpful with that ongoing wildfire fight. Southwestern Manitoba, lots of sunshine, lots of smoke, and a lot of heat. 30 degrees in Brandon and Neepawa. Same goes for you folks in Dauphin, maybe a hair cooler in Swan River. Dauphin and Swan River as well. You can see by those icons a 30% chance of rain and thunderstorms into today and increasing overnight. For us here, much the same, clear skies, but again, that smoke really dogging us. Those winds not shifting today, so likely to remain overnight. And those temperatures in the low 30s through much of this area. Northwestern Ontario, stormy for you. Temperatures a little bit cooler than you've been seeing, but still very warm for this time of year. I mentioned we could be getting some rainfall. We have a clear night to get through first. 20 degrees as those clouds persist, as does the smoke. And then into tomorrow, those showers and rainfall could be coming, or rainfall and thunderstorms, excuse me, could be coming late morning or early afternoon, but tapering off nicely into the weekend.
Thanks, Catherine. Well, let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Good morning, guys.
Look at this good-looking guy.
Hey,
handsome.
Nice to see you, Danny.
Look at this handsome man. Handsome Dan.
How are you all doing? How's summer so far?
Summer's been really
really
good. Actually, in fact, okay, so we know Canada is coast to coast to coast. Manitoba has one of those coasts, and the town of Churchill sits on that coast. So, Dan, I do this podcast called Been There, Never Done That. You can listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. And I was up in Churchill 2 weeks ago, and I was working on that podcast, which talks to tourism owner-operators, some of the challenges they face, and some of the things that they encounter on a regular basis. So shout out to Churchill Wild. They offer Arctic safaris in their eco lodges, so you can walk with polar bears. That's 60 kilometers north of Churchill on the Seal River. So Allie and Jason and their family, along with Nicole and Ben, who stay and run the lodge day to day. Ice has melted, bears are coming back, and there's hundreds of belugas that have arrived. And Ramey and Sea North Tours offer all types of ways to enjoy them, including kayaking with belugas. And I was talking with Dave Daly of Wapusk Adventures. So he's an ambassador of the area. He works really hard with Indigenous tourism in Canada and dog sleds. He's a musher, and even though it's summer, he offers tours on his sleigh. Or you can go see his wife Val. Hello, Val. She's got a beautiful gift shop in town. And then Frontiers North, they are home of the Tundra Buggy. So if you want to see polar bears during polar bear season, you hook up with Frontiers North. Now, during the summer, Jim and all of the other wonderful tour guides will take you on a half-day summer tundra run. So there's so much to see and do in Churchill. Hello, Churchill. We see you, and we wish you a really, really great season.
Honestly, your time there trumped anything I've done so far this summer, but I did get to BDI once, so there's something.
You went
at
to
least.
North Kildonan, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, we'll figure that out.
Pretty cool.
It's pretty nice.
Awesome. Have a great day, guys. Talk soon. An inspiring mother transformed an unremarkable space into a magical garden, and she's cultivating healing after a devastating loss. CTV's Adam Sawatsky reports.
When she first started doing these daily walks to the end of her complex's driveway, Bonnie Duncan would look for animals.
It's just having the wildlife nearby is just so wonderful.
She would capture deer and eagles with her camera, and on rainy days would find shelter under the trees.
And feel like I was getting a big hug from nature.
So Bonnie decided to return the favor by tending to the garden surrounding the trees, particularly the heather.
I lost my youngest daughter at age 17. Her name was Heather. So it was like, how can I revive the heather?
And while pruning the plants, Bonnie uncovered a large rock.
I looked at it and it was like, that's a house.
So she placed a smaller rock on top to make a simple chimney before a neighbor donated a more elaborate front door.
And I thought, you know, we got the start of a fairy garden.
So Bonnie began spending countless hours transforming the space, which inspired all sorts of people passing to smile so much they donated dozens of decorations. And now this enchanted forest, along with its heather plants, is thriving.
As I nurture the plants, I feel like I'm nurturing myself, and also I feel the presence of heather.
Because along with the deer and eagle, and beyond these butterfly decorations, when she's working here, Bonnie says she's regularly visited by very real butterflies.
They say that butterflies is somebody that you've lost coming to check in and say, how you doing?
And although how Bonnie responds to that question will depend on the day, because grief has a habit of arriving unannounced, her answer will always include gratitude for both the solace this magical oasis provides and the healing.
It feels so good. Do what gives you joy. And wow, what a transformation.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
A little bit of a hazy drive to start your day on the Provencher Bridge. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg. Good morning. It is Thursday, July 23rd. I'm Daniel Almerson, joined by Catherine Dow. Thank you so much for spending your Thursday morning with us here. Not a bad day out so far. A little smoky, of course, but we know the heat is coming, and that's a good thing that the heat isn't till later in the day. For Ainsley McPhail, she's out in East St. Paul with a group called Cycling with Sarah. It's Manitoba's first senior women's biking club, so we're going to learn a little bit about some of the work that they're doing out there. Coming up at 7:32, we'll be chatting with Chuck Davidson from the Manitoba Chambers of Commerce for more local reaction to President Trump's latest tariffs. But let's talk about the weather. A little hot. Thinking of going to the Bomber game tomorrow night. How's that going to be shaping up?
You know, depending on when this storm hits, maybe not the S word is appropriate, but maybe some rain and thunderstorms for you Bomber fans. So you might want to pack the slicker, the poncho, if you will, if you have a blue and gold one. Bonus points. But yes, it could be a little bit soggy tomorrow for Bomber fans. Not the case today, though. Looking dry, hot, and very smoky out there. 17 degrees currently, those southwesterly winds at 18 kilometers per hour. The pressure is on the rise this hour, humidity at 84%. So yes, that smoke, we were hoping with some of those shifting winds yesterday that would help dissipate those that smoke that's been lingering for us in southern Manitoba. Didn't really do much of the trick. You can see it outside on our live eye. Not coming up on our radar. However, you are seeing some scattered non-organized or unorganized thunderstorms there tracking through central parts of our province. For us here in Winnipeg, though, while the smoke is bad, you must only imagine what it's like for our friends in the northwest. You can see air quality quality warnings have been persisting the last number of days. That's the area where those wildfires are burning. And as those winds shift into the weekend, that could be coming further downstream of those fires. So we could be even getting more smoke into the weekend. However, we also could be getting a little bit of rain to the north. That's a good key ingredient to helping with this wildfire season, which has already been so tremendously awful. You can see here it's tracking through those very northerly parts of our province, likely to bring rain and thunderstorms later today into the northwest, and then maybe arriving there in the northeast overnight. For us here as well, look at that. Well, we have sunshine today. We see the back end of this system really starts to engulf southwestern Manitoba overnight, and then us tomorrow. So rainy thunderstorms could be coming our way, maybe late morning, early afternoon. But look how quickly it tracks out, setting the stage for a really sunny and really hot weekend ahead. Speaking of hot, today we're definitely on the upward climb with our temperatures. 30 degrees, 26 is what's seasonal. And by the weekend, we're hovering around that mark and getting even hotter, if you will. Your weather art of the day, 5-year-old Saria drew this lovely picture. I believe it's a rainbow and a sunset there. Thank you so much, Saria, for sending that in, just 5 years old. And to submit your child's weather art of the day, be sure to visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Fill out the form there, because your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, and it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle at Kenaston and Regent.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenaston.
The body of one of two brothers last seen going under the water at Nudimick Lake this past weekend has been found near the lake's shore. At around 7:30 Wednesday evening, Mounties say they recovered the body of 10-year-old Maximo Au Ramirez. He is the younger of the two brothers swept into fast-moving rapids Saturday near Sturgeon Falls Trail in the Whiteshell. His brother, 13-year-old Aaron Au Ramirez, may have jumped in to save him, but neither of those boys were seen resurfacing. The discovery of Maximo's body comes after search efforts ramped up Wednesday, with additional dive teams and fire departments coming to help search Nudimick Lake.
Some friends of families are just coming in to do, wellness checks on them. Very, very grateful that sisters and brothers have been able to show up.
Search efforts to locate 13-year-old Aaron Au Ramirez continue. A landlord is furious. The city is ordering him to clean up garbage from a homeless encampment. The camp is behind one of his buildings, and a compliance order says if he doesn't do it, the city will do it for him and charge him the cost to his property tax bill. CTV's Jeff Keel explains.
Behind this apartment building on Balmoral Street, a homeless riverbank encampment has been here for years. With it comes these piles of debris. People have cut this fence to shelter under the building's parking lot too, and there have been fires.
Needles, all of the traits of an encampment are crystal clear.
The province and city have been working together to remove encampments. So landlord Marvin Sharp was shocked when his property management company received an order from the city to clean up this mess or else.
I was furious.
The order states all garbage, which may include tents, must be removed and the site cleaned up, or the city will do it and put the costs on his property tax bill. A penalty fee for non-compliance could also be tacked on.
The city and the political people who are supposed to be responsible for this have decided their best action is to dump the problem on someone else.
The city says enforcement officers are dispatched based on complaints. In this case, the city says crews observed abandoned goods, furniture, and other materials at the rear of the building's property. Please note that the city responds to encampments on public property. If someone is concerned about an individual experiencing homelessness or an encampment, they can report this to 311. For situations involving private property, the property owner may contact the Winnipeg Police Service. But Area Councillor Sherry Rowland says putting this on the property owner is unacceptable.
Beyond being unfair, it's illogical, and it is a crazy commentary on where public safety is at in this city.
Sharp says he has called police in the past. He's appealing the order.
Let's hope something good comes out of this and the city wakes up.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The landlord has 14 days to file an appeal with the city's Community Services Committee at a cost of $250. Meantime, Winnipeg continues to have one of the highest crime severity rates in the country. However, according to Statistics Canada's latest report, the rates fell faster in our city than most of the rest of the country last year. The Crime Severity Index is a standard way of measuring both the number of crimes per capita and how serious they are. In 2025, Winnipeg had the 5th highest rate in the country, but it also fell by 9%, nearly double the national decline. Countrywide, the crime severity rate fell for the second straight year, driven by fewer break-and-enters, vehicle thefts, and homicides. Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet with Canada's premiers today as they look for an answer to the latest tariff threat from the U.S.
I'll just speak for Ontario. Everything's on the table. We can't keep rolling over for Donald Trump.
I think that the Prime Minister has heard from us that we would we want to make sure that we get a good deal.
The premiers are united in their opposition to the 50% tariffs, but they differ on how to respond. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is pushing for diplomacy. Others, like Ontario Premier Doug Ford and BC Premier David Eby, are suggesting Canada hold back electricity and natural resources. When they sit down with the Prime Minister today, premiers are also expected to bring up issues like healthcare funding and energy security. Some aspiring scientists and doctors are receiving some hands-on training here in Winnipeg this week.
Once you have a 3D data set, there's a ton of stuff you can do.
The Biomedical Youth Program summer camp at the University of Manitoba Bannatyne campus is welcoming around 125 grade 6 to 12 students, including 15 Indigenous high school students from northern Manitoba. Over the week, they're exploring careers in the health and biomedical sciences through a series of workshops. On Wednesday, that included 3D microscopy, heart dissection, and plasmid isolation.
This is an awesome experience for me because I never got to do anything like that in my res. So whenever I see something, I just get so surprised and interested in it.
Staff include graduate and undergraduate students at the University of Manitoba. Organizers say this is the 15th year for the camp. And taking a look at the current traffic situation on Confusion Corner, moving well so far. Pass those traffic tips along to us at 10-400.
Democratic Senator Peter Welch appealing to U.S. Trade Czar Jamieson Greer to improve relations with Canada after he said tourism to his state has dropped 40%. He was one of several U.S. senators grilling Greer on tariffs on Wednesday after U.S. President Donald Trump lobbed new threats at Canada. Now those threats looming large as Canadian premiers meet in Charlottetown, in part to calculate next steps. Alphabet raising its capital spending forecast to as much as $205 billion this year, reigniting concerns about a lack of fiscal discipline in the race to dominate artificial intelligence. Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon reporting next week. Now in April, they forecast $725 billion for their AI ambitions, and Alphabet's earnings report means that will likely be higher, raising further fears about the return. Also reporting after the bell was Tesla. And it, too, said spending was up and only going higher. In the earnings call, Elon Musk said we should be spending on CapEx as fast as we can, spend as fast as we can without it being too wasteful. Tesla is down in trading and off 17% for the year. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
CTV's Ainsley McPhail is live this morning out in East St. Paul, learning about one of the coolest girl gangs I've ever heard of, Cycling with Sarah.
Well, when you get a group of women together, a little bit about me, Danny. My mom is 72 years old, and she's joined a walking group. And I can see here with Cycling with Sarah that the same thing is happening. You're engaged, you're getting out there, you're learning a new skill, or you're revisiting a skill that you haven't touched in a very long time. Some of these women are biking 100 kilometers. Others are just hopping on an e-bike and being social. And that's what it's all about. Coming up at 7:27, we're going to be learning about the charity component because these women are giving back. Everything from Main Street Project to a women's shelter serving those who are French speaking. So stay with us. They're certainly having fun, and I think that will reflect in our interviews too.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Have fun out there, Ainsley. And not a bad morning to head out for a bike ride, is it, Catherine?
It's lovely. The one kind of caveat to this, while it's so gorgeous and pretty mild, is the smoke. Yes, we've been seeing it linger throughout much of the province, of course, but it really descended on us last couple of days, and it's definitely lingering on this Thursday morning. It's 18 degrees, those winds out of the southwest. Pressure is rising, humidity at 81%. So yes, look for that smoke to continue for us here in the south. Meanwhile, the northwest, you still have those ongoing air quality warnings in effect, yellow warnings issued by Environment and Climate Change Canada. They have been persistent because of those ongoing wildfires, of course, so it doesn't look like there's going to be much improvement on your air quality today. In fact, temperatures there adversely hot in the upper 20s, not what we like to see. They will be a little bit cooler in the northeast. However, a chance of rain and thunderstorms for you off and on throughout the day, likely hitting the northwest first and then pitching into the east later on into the afternoon or early evening. For us here in the south, we are also staying dry today. Lots of sunshine and again some smoke. Very hot highs in the low 30s. Some areas maybe a few degrees shy of that. We in Winnipeg at 30 degrees. And then overnight, while we stay clear, except for a good amount of smoke, we're likely to get the rain and thunderstorm activity into tomorrow. Maybe early morning, maybe a bit into the afternoon. Hard to say the timing at this point, but it's likely to be a bit soggy out there.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
It's time now for our question of the day. Today is National Refreshment Day and National Vanilla Ice Cream Day. So we want to know, what's the best ice cream place here in the city? You can text your answers to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
And it's also time for our pet of the week, and this week we're celebrating Bosif. Bosif is a cardigan Welsh Corgi. He's named after baseball player Bo Bichette, and his nickname is Bo Beans. He loves winter and rolling around in the snow, but he enjoys the extra walkies and patio season. Bosif loves collecting sticks and pets from people. If you see me on a walkie, Bosif says, don't feel shy to say hi. Thanks so much to Alicia for sharing. We love your pet of the week submissions, so keep them coming. Share a photo and a fun story of your pet, whether that's a dog, cat, bird, or anybody, at petoftheweek@ctv.ca. And make sure to watch Thursdays to see if your pet is our pet of the week. And a look out at Kenniston and Sterling Lion Way. Very smoky out there right now. We'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg. A 36-year-old woman is dead and 3 others injured following a single vehicle rollover in the Interlake. RCMP say it happened shortly after 6 a.m. Tuesday, roughly 5 kilometers north of Narcisse on Highway 17. Mounties say the northbound vehicle, driven by a 23-year-old man from Peguis First Nation, veered into the opposite ditch before crossing over to the other ditch, where it hit an approach and rolled. The woman, who is also from Peguis First Nation, was ejected from the vehicle and died at the scene. The driver, along with a 33-year-old woman and 17-year-old boy, were treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The investigation is ongoing. Amid the latest looming tariff threat from the U.S. President, Premier Wap Kinew struck a defiant tone Wednesday at the First Minister's meeting in PEI.
It's clear that the booze bans are having an impact. And as we negotiate and try to remind Americans that the cost of living is more expensive because of Donald Trump, because of his tariffs, and because of his war in Iran, we're going to continue using those tools that give us leverage. And the booze bans are one of those tools.
Asked if he was open to Canada leveraging energy exports to the U.S. in trade talks, Kinew said Trump's war in Iran has already increased gas prices, quote, more than we ever could. Instead, he said Canada needs to pick its battles and alluded back to the booze ban and other measures the federal government is considering. However, he refused to get into specifics. Kinew was also asked whether the separation movement in Alberta and the rise of separatist politicians in Quebec is fraying national unity.
Well, there's that old saying, right? Like a single arrow can be broken easily, but a bundle of arrows cannot be snapped. And so national unity is important, especially when we're going up against a much larger opponent like the American economy.
Canoe and his counterparts will be meeting with the Prime Minister today. Canoe says he expects to hear more details on the ongoing CUSMA negotiations and potential next steps. People in Australia are willing to travel great distances for this loaf of bread. There's a historic bakery located in the outback town of Farina. It was built more than 100 years ago and uses traditional wood ovens. Farina was abandoned during the 1980s, but the bakery was rediscovered about 17 years ago. It now opens 8 weeks a year, and it's run by a team of volunteers. And people come from all across Australia for a taste. Taking a look at the traffic situation, picking up there on Donald Street. Text those tips to us if you have them. And temperatures might be warm right now, but it's never too early to be thinking about frost. Frost, a Cirque holiday extravaganza, is coming to Centennial Concert Hall this winter. The show combines acrobatics, dance, live music, and aerial stunts to deliver a show-stopping spectacle. The performance kicks off on December 17th at 7 p.m. and tickets go on sale July 24th at 11 a.m. on the Concert Hall's website. Greek gods and kings are known for their muscles, and so are the goddesses.
And so my double was a woman, a female stunt performer, who had the greatest arms I've ever seen. And when she came into the catering tent, was the first time I met her. I went up and I hugged her, and so, you know.
Matt Damon, who plays the Greek king Odysseus in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, shared more about the stunt doubles used for a particular scene. During his press tour, he chatted with podcast host Josh Horowitz, who pointed out his massive biceps in the film. Matt Damon then gave credit to Devin Dalton, a Canadian dancer and stunt performer. This is a video of some of her workouts she shared on social media. And Tom Holland and Zendaya not only star in The Odyssey, they have another major movie coming out this month, and you may have heard about it.
Hi, my name is Peter Parker. I have something to tell you that's going to sound crazy.
Peter Parker is back for a brand new day. Zendaya is also reunited with her husband on screen as MJ. The final trailer for the latest Spider-Man film is officially out now. The film will hit theaters next Friday. And coming up tonight on your primetime lineup, The Big Bang Theory is on at 7, Children Ruin Everything starts at 8, and Traders Canada is on at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Casting our eye to the sky, it's a little bit hazy out there, quite smoky, 18 degrees. Winds out of the southwest at 18 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure on the rise, humidity sitting at 81%. Got lots on the go weather-wise here in Manitoba. Our radar doesn't show much. You do see some stray thunderstorms or two. That's from a remnant trough that's kind of popping up. That could cause that scattered convective activity. There we go. And could lead to a bit more flare-ups into the afternoon in the Interlake and eastern Manitoba. Meanwhile, air quality warnings ongoing, no surprise. They have been in effect for the last many numbered days and weeks. You can see those areas lit up in white. That's the region where those wildfires are burning. Unfortunately, air quality quite degraded, and with those temperatures and winds not looking to shift, it doesn't look like much will improve. In fact, they could actually shift and spread out those warnings as we get into the weekend. For us today, we will be dealing with that smoke, much to a lesser degree than they're seeing in the northwest, but still smoky for sure. 20 degrees in the morning, 28 into the afternoon, and by early evening we're already at 29. We're going to get a little bit hotter than that, even 30 degrees, while 26 is our seasonal high. Winds will stay pretty strong out of the southwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Not shifting overnight, so it doesn't look like it's going to do much to move that smoke out of our skies. Overnight tonight, we'll see temperatures dip to 20. A couple clouds and that smoke persisting, and then into tomorrow, a good chance of rainfall and thunderstorms. It'll probably arrive in the southwest overnight into Friday and join us into tomorrow, maybe late morning, early afternoon. Timing still a bit up in the air, but it's still looking like a good chance of some soggy days ahead. Your Skywatch picture of the day taken by Martha. That haze making that sunset downright orange, almost pink. Thanks for sending that in. And if you've got any weather pictures to share, we would love to see them. Email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
July 23rd, 1904. Charles Menchez of St. Louis is said to have conceived the ice cream cone. The walkaway cone debuted at that year's St. Louis World's Fair. Whether or not it was actually invented at the fair, the event helped make the ice cream cone a national sensation, sold at fairs, beaches, boardwalks, and ice cream parlors everywhere. July 23, 1983. An Air Canada 767 jet made an emergency glide landing on an airstrip in Gimli. The plane ran out of fuel in mid-air due to confusion over the metric system and fuel metering problems. None of the 61 passengers were hurt during the landing, but some suffered minor injuries during the emergency evacuation. The incident gained the aircraft the nickname the Gimli Glider. July 23, 2023. Warner Brothers movie Barbie broke the year's opening weekend record and shattered the first weekend record for a film directed by a woman, Greta Gerwig. Studio totals showed the film made $162 million in North American ticket sales. When it finished its theatrical run, it was the highest grossing film of 2023, taking in nearly $1.5 billion worldwide.
You about this morning. Following the rush on Balmoral Street, the southbound middle lane will be closed from Sargent to Capel Avenue. The northbound curb lane on Osborne will be closed between Arnold and Mulvey Avenue. And on Portage, the eastbound curb lane will be closed from Furby Street to St. Mary Avenue. If you have any traffic tips, send them our way. And taking a look at your gas prices in Winnipeg, the average is $1.74. That's a small increase compared to yesterday, and the lowest price in the city is $1.57. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Well, here's something you probably never thought you'd see.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action.
That's a mountain bike flying off a hot air balloon. That's Elias from Austria, and he's now become the first person ever to ride a mountain bike on a hot air balloon. Now, this took 2 years of practicing, prepping, and planning. Organizers say it's a true moment to never believe anything is impossible. And speaking of bikes, Ainsley McPhail's out in East St. Paul with Cycling with Sarah. Details coming up after the break. We head out to East St. Paul, where we find Ainsley McPhail and a whole crew of cyclists. It's Cycling with Sarah, this incredible group. What are you guys up to now?
Well, I'm glad that that's how you narrated it, Danny, because you could have said we're with Ainsley McPhail in East St. Paul, and she's just stuffing her face with protein bites and cookies and sourdough. These ladies are amazing. That's already my second favorite thing about them, other than the fact that they're cycling around this little dirt path. Ned, thank you for being here. Cycling with Sarah, that's what we're talking about all morning. Why did you join the group?
I joined it for the physical activity and the connection with other women of the like-minded.
And what has that been like when you say connection with other women? Maybe I guess we're explaining this to the men out there that don't quite understand what it's like being in a sisterhood.
So it's meeting women that that I've never met before. We all have a passion for cycling. So, of course, some of us are starting out for the first time. Others have been cycling, sort of dibble-dabbling as we've gone through our work life, because we're a group of 55 plus. So it's kind of making new connections with others and just enjoying each other's company while we're out exercising.
And I'm sure that's a mental benefit, too. Is that what you're finding?
Yes, definitely. I mean, just in general, being outside in nature, cycling, slowing the pace of life down, getting a little bit of sun on your face, some birdsong, and some laughter with the women, because it is a lot of joy. We chat a lot as we're cycling and laughing. So that's releasing a lot of good endorphins for our health as well.
And honestly, that's what it's all about, bringing joy and laughter. Sometimes life is hard, and you guys can be there for each other during those tough times, too.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, there's, as you know, there'd be all sorts of life challenges going on with any one person at any given time. And so we're there to support each other, both emotionally, psychologically, and even physically, because sometimes it's, I need a hug. It's as simple as that.
Oh, that's a brilliant way to end this. Sorry that I started this whole segment talking about eating sourdough, but you guys, 55 plus ladies, they know how to make their sourdough. That's all I'm going to say. Back to you.
Ainsley, you're carb loading. You're obviously going to hit the bike soon. It's like Michael Phelps on a bike, so just keep eating that sourdough and get ready for the ride. Not a bad time to get out and take a bike ride, take a stroll. The only kind of spoiler to your morning is that smoke, so obvious there on our live eye. It's 18 degrees, though there's a good amount of sunshine out there along with it. Winds decently breezy out of the southwest at 18 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 81%. Now, I want sourdough. Not a lot to show you here on our radar, except for these kind of flare-ups here. That's from the remnants of a trough, so it's causing the potential for a stray thunderstorm here or there, and it's likely to continue and maybe flare up into the Interlake and the east throughout the day, but again, not terribly organized or substantial. It'll be a blip, if anything. Meanwhile, in the northwest, unfortunately, those air quality warnings persisting and don't show signs of letting up. Say that 10 times fast. Likely it's going to continue into the weekend and perhaps even spread due to those ongoing wildfires. For us here in Winnipeg, smoky as well, not to the degree they're seeing in the northwest, so no warnings for us, but as the wind shift, that is always a possibility. Currently, though, we're getting up to a high of 30 degrees with those sunny and smoky conditions, winds staying strong out of the southwest. They persist as well overnight, which means not a lot of opportunity to shift that smoke out of our skies. 20 degrees currently, partly cloudy and smoky overnight. And then into tomorrow, a good chance of rain and thunderstorms. Timing is still a bit up in the air. Likely Environment and Climate Change Canada thinks it'll be late morning, early afternoon, but some sunshine before and after 29 degrees, because it's looking like that system clips out of our skies pretty darn quick, because into the weekend we're back to the sunshine, another hot high of 29 degrees, getting even steamier into Sunday with a mix of sun and cloud.
Earlier this week, U.S. President Donald Trump announced a new 50% tariff on many Canadian goods that will go into effect in less than a month. And this latest escalation in trade tensions is creating uncertainty for businesses, workers, and communities yet again. Joining us now on how this will impact Manitobans is the president of the Manitoba Chambers of Commerce, Chuck Davidson. Good morning, Chuck. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Daniel.
Tell us, what are some of the goods and products maybe made here in Manitoba that could be impacted?
Well, I think that's the real challenge, because it's a pretty lengthy list that's been put together. There's over 500 products on this list, but what we've kind of learned from economists is they're indicating right now that if you take the list and you extrapolate it and determine exactly what the impact would be on Manitoba, we typically do about $18 billion worth of exporting on an annual basis. What they're suggesting is about 5% of those products would be impacted as a result of that. And so 5% you might not think of it as a lot, but when you're taking it into that context, you're probably talking about $900 million. And I think the key right now, what businesses are looking at is, how are they impacted, and are they impacted? Because the list is so lengthy, it's extremely diverse as well. We're not as impacted as other provinces, but it's the kind of thing right now that businesses are kind of going through it to determine, how am I going to be impacted as a result of that? So that's taking a little bit of time to figure out what the impacts are going to be. The hope, of course, is that we have a bit of a time frame, is that this is not going to take effect for the next 30 days. And so the hope is this is just another one of the pieces of the playbook that we've seen again from the U.S. president, where he'll announce that there's a tariff coming, and then as we get towards the end date, it get extended or it comes off the table. And that's the hope again, what happens.
So is that the message you're sharing with members right now? Take a breath. Let's see where this goes over the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think the message that we've been sharing is one that's consistent and has been consistent for the past 18 months, is that businesses need to understand that our biggest trading partner that we've had for decades is now our most unreliable trading partner. And doing anything possible to make changes to your supply chain, to look at other markets, are things that businesses need to be focused on right now. And it is what they're focused on as well. And so you're seeing that businesses are looking at, how can we do more business across provincial borders, across Canada? So getting rid of internal trade barriers is something we've been talking about as well. Looking at other markets externally as well, outside of Canada. And so you've seen both the Prime Minister and the Premiers talking about, how do we make that easier? Making investments in infrastructure so that we can get those goods to other markets as well are key things. And I think what this is, we're really learning from this, and businesses understanding, is they need to pivot. They can't have all their eggs in that one basket being the U.S. market. They need to look at other markets where it's possible, and where it's not, that's where government needs to sometimes come in and help out with some different kind of programs.
And you mentioned the premiers and prime minister. You were at the First Minister's meeting out in PEI over the last couple of days. What was kind of the messages shared across the table there?
Yeah, I think it's very clear is that they recognize as well that the U.S., we need to hammer out an agreement on CUSMA. I think there's no question about that. They're always going to be our biggest trading partner. It's about how big that's going to be. And I think that needs to be something that's solidified. Secondly, we do need to look at some of those other markets as well. And I think what was clear as well, what we heard from the premiers is we really need to make sure that the business community, that premiers and the prime minister are all on the same page when we're going into these negotiations, because what we don't want is sort of cracks in the armor in terms of when we're negotiating with the president of the U.S.
Now, Premier Canoe said the tariff threat has united Canada's leaders, as you kind of just mentioned, by giving them a common opponent, President Trump. Is that the approach to take right now, or is it extend that olive branch across the border? Yeah,
and it's part of a negotiation, but I do think it is important that we are in a position of strength from a certain perspective as well, is that just as much as we rely on the U.S. market, they also rely on us. And so we've also heard from our partners in chambers and businesses on the other side of the border who also want this to come to a conclusion, because they also see the importance of the relationship and the close relationship and long-standing relationship that we've had between our two countries. And I think that's part of this as well. But I think what's really key, we need to kind of find some common ground where we can get past this, because what businesses are really looking for is certainty, and what they're living in right now is not an area of certainty. So it's making a challenge in regards to making investments, whether it be in their businesses, whether it be in hiring. And I think that's a situation we're trying to get away from. And our hope is that cooler heads will prevail, and that hopefully in the next 30 days, what we're talking about today is something that doesn't happen.
Well, thank you so much, Chuck, for stopping by this morning, and hoping to speak with you in the coming weeks, and hopefully some good news.
Always a pleasure, Daniel.
Thank you. 18 degrees outside right now, under hazy but sunny skies. Wind out of the southwest at 18. We'll have your full forecast coming up after the break.
A smoky start to your Thursday, but pretty darn balmy as well. 18 degrees, southwesterly winds at 18 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity at 81%. We were hoping some of those shifting winds would help to dissipate some of that smoke here in southern Manitoba. I put it out to the universe, it didn't quite deliver. So unfortunately, another smoky day ahead for us here in the south. But really, it's nothing much compared to what they're dealing with over in the northwest. You can see air quality warnings have been ongoing for a number of weeks and look to continue today, if not potentially expand into the weekend. Meanwhile, a good chance of some showers. In fact, already some light rainfall this morning in Thompson, but that's likely to stretch into Island Lake, maybe some convective activity as well. But for the most part, it looks like you will get a little bit of rainfall, which is always helpful. Temperatures there decent for this time of year, 24 degrees. Cooler the further north you go, and clearer as well. Not a chance of getting soggy in those parts. To the northwest, also a good chance of rain and thunderstorms in that very northerly corner. I showed it on the radar earlier, but the system is kind of like wrapping around the top and coming down. So that's why you see those very northerly parts dealing with that rain and thunderstorm risk. While areas further to the south, like Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, the Pond, Flin Flon, clear but very smoky. 29 degrees there, very hot. Speaking of hot, going to be the case in southwest, where you're going to be dealing with highs of 30 in Brandon and Ipawa and Dauphin, 29 in Swan River. Dauphin and Swan River also have a chance of that convective activity today. For us, smoky, hazy, sunny, lots of winds out of the southwest, 20 kilometers per hour at their sharpest, and those highs into the low 30s. Some areas a bit cooler in the northeast, or southeast, excuse me. Back to the northwest, in Ontario, that is, a mix of sun and cloud for you, and then likely some storms into the afternoon, highs at or above seasonal. Overnight tonight, skies remaining pretty cloudy and also pretty smoky. Temperatures dip down to 20 degrees as those southwesterly winds persist. Then tomorrow, a low pressure system tracking into our area. There we go, I can spit it out. Likely arriving in the late morning, but a high of 29 degrees and a few pockets of sunshine too.
Thanks, Catherine. Ainsley McPhail is out in East St. Paul today. Now, every time we come to you, I expect to see you and cameraman Kenny on a tandem bike. That hasn't happened yet. I'm still holding out a little hope. But you're talking about cycling with members of Cycling with Sarah this morning and finding out about those friendships.
Yes, I didn't bring my own bike because I don't have a bike. I just realized that now. But maybe I'll have to put one in storage, or maybe they have an extra one kicking around. They can help me out. Chris, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Why did you join Cycling with Sarah?
I joined because After I retired, I really was feeling a bit left out of the social scene, and I was looking for different ways to be included in something. And cycling with Sarah is great because there's no judgment. You show up with your bike, doesn't matter what type of bike you have, doesn't matter if you're a rider or you've been riding, and none of it matters. It just matters about showing up, and you have all these cycling sisters, so it's great.
Well, and if you even look behind us, this looks like it's a bump and social scene. Am I right about that?
It's totally right. Yeah, it's totally awesome. And, you know, I find that it's just such a strong sense of belonging in this group. And as I come every week, it's just getting stronger and stronger. The emotional connections we have, and just the fact that we all enjoy cycling. You know, it takes me back to when I was a kid, and how I just loved the tires on the road, and just nature, the sounds, just a different perspective in life with being on your bike. So I really enjoy that. And there's social times that are built into our group rides, so it's not competitive. We just have fun.
There's something so special and so distinct about female friendships. What does that mean to you at this stage in your life?
It means the world to me, because I think we need a purpose, and we still want that sense of like I talk about the sense of belonging, but I also think it's about making a difference. And this group also does altruistic type things that make a difference for everybody. So you can get involved and there's always something for you to get involved in beyond even the cycling, and it goes year round. And so that's really great too.
Thank you so much. And anytime. And you know what? There is a wait list. There's a wait list of 65 people right now. And I know there's going to be people watching going, oh, can I get on that wait list? I'm sure you can. It might just take a little time. Back to you.
A Florida senior's new license plate has become a topic of conversation among her family and friends, with opinions split on whether or not she should keep it. Joan Murray reports.
And I didn't know I was getting a plate.
When Nancy Delastrito went to collect her mail, she got quite the surprise, a new license plate with her vehicle registration renewal.
And I looked at it and I said, I don't think so.
The plate reads SQZ-A55, but from a distance, those 55s can be read as S's. Well, you get the picture. Squeeze blank.
I don't think a woman that lives in a senior community that's going to be 77 years old next month will be driving around with what this plate has to say.
The plates become the talk around her retirement community, especially the men. We were with her when she showed it to one of her 89-year-old neighbors.
And this is what I received from the DMV for my new license plate. That's good for 10 years. Good. Good?
Florida license plates have been made at a state prison in North Florida for almost a century. Then they're funneled through the county agencies. Nancy's plate was mailed from the Broward Property Tax Collector's office. We went there to try to help her get some answers.
It's a question about a tag, if you want to replace a tag.
And while no one wanted to talk on camera, we were told anyone unhappy with a plate can turn it in for another one for free.
I'm kind of resigning to it, and I figured maybe it was just destined to be on my car.
So for now, Nancy's keeping the tag, although she is planning to let the state know about it. She'll see the reaction when she goes public with her new plate.
I can handle it if I get a few honks here and there. Actually, being over 70, I might like a few honks.
Have you ever wondered what a baby aardvark looks like? The Berlin Zoo is celebrating a new addition to the family. This is a baby aardvark. They kind of look like anteaters or pigs. Aardvarks get their name from a South African word meaning earth pig. They grow to be around 110 to 180 pounds. Well, let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 15th birthday, Sawyer. Love from all of your friends, family, and Izzy. And a happy first anniversary, Sierra and Daniel. Lots of love for Mom, Dad, and in-laws Barb and Horatio, who all wish you many more great years to come. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Things are taking a turn for the steamy today. Mother Nature getting us up to 30 degrees, as you can see, a couple degrees above what's typical for this time of year, beating us handily into what we were dealing with this time last year, but well off that record set back in 2006. We do actually have some hotter temperatures, somewhat rivaling that high of 35 degrees back in 2006. Those are coming this weekend, not to that severity, but still definitely in the midst of a warm-up. Currently it's 18 degrees. It's definitely feeling balmier out here than when the show began. Winds out of the southwest, messing up my hair at 18 clicks currently. Barometric pressure rising, humidity at 81%. So yes, as you can see, it's quite smoky out here. We'd hope those shifting winds yesterday would help to dissipate some of these winds, but not the case, or dissipate some of the smoke. Not the case. Definitely still lingering and likely to be the case into the evening as well. Temperatures throughout the province will be above seasonal, and especially in the south, they'll be peaking in and around the 30-degree mark alongside these strong southwesterly winds at 20 kilometers per hour. Meanwhile, a different system pushing in from Alberta is likely to bring rainfall and thunderstorms. It's really wrapping around the very northern parts of our province. Thompson, you've already begun seeing some light rain showers. That should intensify throughout the day and then drift further into the northwest and lasting overnight, while we here in the south likely get rain and thunderstorms into tomorrow.
For the past decade, a cottage in southern Manitoba has been a home away from home for families wanting to stay close to their children receiving care in hospital. Katie's Cottage is located near the Boundary Trails Hospital in Winkler. The cottage and the Katie Cares Foundation were created by 13-year-old Caitlin Reimer, who died from cancer in 2012. And now Katie's Cottage is celebrating its 10th anniversary, fulfilling Caitlin's vision of a place of comfort and care. Joining us now to share more about Katie Cares is Caitlin Reimer's mother, Ruth. Good morning, Ruth. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
First off, tell us a little bit about Caitlin.
Caitlin was a normal kid. She loved being with her friends. She loved school. She loved swimming. She was on the Winkler Barracudas. She was full of energy, loved reading, a funny kid who just had a passion for life.
Wow. She came up with the idea for Katie Cares while she was receiving care in hospital.
Right.
Tell us about the idea, or about her vision.
The idea and the vision was to support families. So when people come to Katie's Cottage, anyone can come. Anyone who has a loved one at Boundary Trails can stay with us. Doesn't matter what age you are. Certainly we gear to the kids for sure, but we do the Beanie Baby program and different things like that. But staying at Katie's Cottage, you can be here and with adults, families who need to be close to their loved one.
What can people expect when they stay there?
They can expect to be greeted by a warm, friendly staff, fresh cup of coffee, homemade bread, homemade muffins, cookies, a clean facility, welcoming, quiet, peaceful, just a place where you can relax and take some of that stress off when you're in hospital. It's a stressful time for anyone. We walk with families who have heard the diagnosis of cancer, or we've heard my dad had a heart attack, or surgeries that have come up, and different situations, accidents, right? And so we walk with those families and we care for those families as best we can.
This Saturday, you're marking 10 years since Katie's Cottage opened. How are you guys celebrating the event?
We're celebrating it, I think, exactly how she would want. We have bouncy castles, face painting, sidewalk chalk, bubbles, hot dogs, watermelon chips, cupcakes.
I think Caitlin and I would have gotten along quite well. Later this year in September, your biggest fundraiser, a fashion show.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Our fashion show is now the 13th year. We had a couple of years of COVID that we didn't do it, but 13 years now. Guests can expect to come and be welcomed with great entertainment, great food, local fashions, very, very community-minded and having so much energy put into different aspects of community and being able to give back to our community that has given so much. And when I say community, I mean the entire province of Manitoba. We have had 133 communities that we have served that have come through our cottage. And it is such a wonderful experience to meet so many people from so many places in our province.
So incredible. Very quickly, if people are heading down to Winkler this weekend, what do they need to know about the celebration?
It's free. It's all in free time to come. Please bring a lawn chair and enjoy the live music and the food and just the atmosphere.
Well, thank you so much for being with us this morning, Ruth.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
What's going on? Adam Scully here inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. For that, we head to South Beach for this one. Action from MLS. Inter Miami Chicago Fire, 18th minute. Ian Frey with a drop pass to his goalkeeper, Rocco Rios Novo. Oh no, he whiffs it. That is a brutal own goal for Miami's keeper, Rios Novo, making his first start in over 4 months. Unfortunately, little rusty on this one. And he earns your must-see moment from Wednesday. Tonight, we've got the CFL on TSN. Thursday night football between the top teams in the West, the Elks and the Rough Riders. It all starts at 8:30 p.m. Eastern across the TSN network. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Thursday, July 23rd. Clean up or else. A Winnipeg landlord says he shouldn't have to clear encampment debris, and he has a sympathetic ear from a city councillor. Also today, trading pressures. Premiers differ on the most effective ways to get the Trump administration walking back stiff new tariffs. And this is the week to honor the dedication of those who care for animals, and Toronto Zoo is marking the occasion in style. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning and happy Thursday, folks. I'm Daniel Homerson, joined by Catherine Dow on weather, and we're getting through our Thursday morning. Ainsley McPhail's out in East St. Paul learning about a little girl gang called Cycling with Sarah. It's Manitoba's first senior women's cycling club, and they've been racing around this morning. And coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to hear about an upcoming art show and sale here in the city. All the art is $100 or less, making it more accessible, more affordable, so those blank walls at home can get covered. And Catherine, how's it shaping up out there today?
You know what, if it was a style of painting, maybe a Picasso, maybe in the blue period with all that gray out there from the lingering smoke, but a bit of sunshine from those sunflowers as well, kind of peeking through, but right now pretty hazy. Winds out of the southwest, barometric pressure on the rise, humidity sitting at 81%. So yeah, that smoke, not exactly a work of art to me. In fact, it's of course degrading air quality in parts of the province, lingering for us here in the south. Meanwhile, the remnants of a trough you can see is sparking some startups here of little isolated thunderstorms here or there, and it could not only just cause a few stray happenings here or there this morning, it could also continue particularly in the Interlake and eastern Manitoba into the afternoon. I mentioned the air quality, the warning still in effect in the northwest. These look to potentially expand into the weekend as those winds also shift. shift. For us here in Winnipeg, it's starting off decently clear with the exception of that smoke. But I want to draw your eye to the system here, just gracing the very top of your screen. It's likely to kind of kiss the northern border there, wrapping around. Already brought some showers to Thompson, and that's likely to continue off and on in the north today and overnight. But then that tail end, it looks like it's going to stay really clear of us, and then overnight, bam, it arcs really into southern Manitoba, particularly hitting the southwest overnight, and then joining us here into the afternoon. But as we click through the day, it clears us really quickly, which means we've got lots of sunshine returning just in time for the weekend. The one constant here, though, is our heat. Temperature's pretty steady, 30 degrees today above seasonal, and we vary from that marginally in the days to come. 29 Friday and Saturday, heating up on Sunday with a low chance of showers. Your weather art of the day, 5-year-old Saria drew this lovely sunset, all those colors at play. Thanks so much for sending that in, Saria. And if you have any weather art from your kids that you would love to share with us, you got to visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. You got to fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, but it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest. It's going to give you a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle at the Kenaston and Regent locations.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenaston.
The body of one of two brothers last seen going under the water at Nudimick Lake this past weekend has been found near the lake's shore. At around 7:30 Wednesday evening, Mounties say they recovered the body of 10-year-old Maximo Au Ramirez. He is the younger of the two brothers swept into fast-moving rapids Saturday near Sturgeon Falls Trail in the Whiteshell. His brother, 13-year-old Aaron Au Ramirez, may have jumped in to save him, but neither of the boys were seen resurfacing. The discovery of Maximo's body comes after search efforts ramped up Wednesday with additional dive teams and fire departments coming to help search Nudimick Lake.
Some friends of families are just coming in to do, wellness checks on them. Very, very grateful that sisters and brothers have been able to show up.
Search efforts to locate 13-year-old Aaron Au Ramirez continue. A landlord in Winnipeg has been ordered to clean up garbage from a homeless encampment that's behind one of his buildings. And the compliance order says if he doesn't do it, the city will do it for him and add the cost to his property tax bill.
The city and the political people who are supposed to be responsible for this have decided their best action is to dump the problem on someone else.
Landlord Marvin Sharp has been given the order to remove the debris associated with the homeless encampment along the riverbank. Sharp was shocked when his property management company received the city's order to clear away this unwelcome mess from his property, or else. The order states all garbage, which may include tents, must be removed and the site cleaned up, or the city will do it and put the costs on its property tax bill. The city says it's only responsible for such cleanups on public property. On private land such as this, it's the owner's responsibility, but that policy doesn't sit well with area councillor Sherry Rollins.
Beyond being unfair, it's illogical, and it is a crazy commentary on where public safety is at in this city.
Sharp says he is appealing the cleanup order. He must file that appeal within 14 days to the city's Community Services Committee at a cost of $250. Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet with Canada's premiers today as they look for an answer to the latest tariff threat from the U.S.
To speak for Ontario, everything's on the table. We can't keep rolling over for Donald Trump.
I think that the Prime Minister has heard from us that we would we want to make sure that we get a good deal.
The premiers are united in their opposition to the 50% tariffs, but they differ on how to respond. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is pushing for diplomacy. Others, like Ontario Premier Doug Ford and BC Premier David Eby, are suggesting Canada hold back electricity and natural resources. When they sit down with the Prime Minister today, premiers are also expected to bring up issues like healthcare funding and energy security. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew says he's open to the idea of an Alberta to Ontario pipeline.
There's always the questions that get asked about major projects these days. On the other hand, having spent a few days in Portage la Prairie, Manitoba last week, I can tell you there's probably a lot of people who'd like to work on a pipeline.
These were Premier Kinew's first public comments on the project since the proposed pipeline was announced by Alberta and Ontario. The route would run from Hardisty in eastern Alberta to refineries in Sarnia, Ontario. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe has already said he supports the project. The Toronto Zoo is celebrating its staff during National Zookeeper Week. It's a time to recognize the hard work and passion of animal care professionals. The Toronto Zoo posted these photos on Instagram, writing, "Being a zookeeper and a guardian of the wild is a multifaceted profession rooted in animal care, conservation, education, and lifelong learning." They say their wildlife care team also helps maintain safe buildings, habitats, and perimeters, and that zoo staff are deeply involved in the lives and well-being of the animals, forming lifelong bonds. And taking a look at the traffic out on Portage Avenue at Polo Park, picking up there, you can send those traffic tips to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
And CTV's Ainsley McPhail is live this morning out in East St. Paul with the club called Cycling with Sarah, an all-girl gang cruising around and making lifelong friendships.
Well, over 30 women showed up this morning, so what does that tell you? That's 30 of the 70 in the group. One of them is Jackie, and you might not know that Cycling with Sarah gives back to the community as well. But first, Jackie, tell us, I think I'm pandering a little bit to our crew. How did you find out about Cycling with Sarah?
I found out here on CTV. I joined 3 years ago, and when I joined, I was so excited. It was like I won the lottery. Just having seen the clip of Sarah being interviewed, both my friend, my neighbor, and I, we both wanted to join so badly. So, yeah, that's how I found out.
That's awesome. And tell us about giving back to the community, because you have in many charitable endeavors.
Well, what happened is that we're having so much fun on our bikes. We have so much energy. We're so grateful that we're healthy. We're able to do things like we have that positive energy as a group. And so with that positive energy, we just want to give back. And so it's easy when you're a whole bunch of women together. It's easy to give back. So the 3 charities that we worked on this summer, we started in June with Villa Rosa. And Villa Rosa is an organization that supports women that are either they're through their pregnancy and then after the baby's born. So during and after pregnancy is what they support, that organization. So we helped them. And you know, by doing that kind of thing, you also become aware of organizations you might have not even heard of. The next one was then in July, we spent our time fundraising for Chez Rachel. And a lot of our members didn't even ever hear of Chez Rachel, which is a women's shelter. And what's unique to that organization is that it's bilingual. It offers services in French and English, and it's also expanding to the rural areas. Now, the third organization we're going to be fundraising for in August is to do with our furry babies. And so that's the Winnipeg Humane Society. And why would we do that? Is we found that pets are really special to our families.
Thank you. We're out of time. I'm sorry. We like to have fun here. Everybody boo Kenny. Boo.
Don't boo Kenny. Listen up, Green Thumbs. Do you have a glorious garden? Well, here at Your Morning Winnipeg, we love to see how you're passionate about your yard work. Could be an annual, perennial, or vegetable. Tell us about your garden and enter the contest to win a $500 gift card from St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. Plus, have the chance to show off your garden live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley McPhail. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Fill out the form with your answer and photos. Good luck.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
You might want to give your plants a good drink, your beautiful outdoor gardens. Make sure to give them some water because it's going to be very dry, very hot and sunny out there, and indeed smoky. 19 degrees clear, if not for that haze. Winds out of the southwest at 18 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 77%. Yeah, those smoky conditions just feel very off-putting. They look kind of eerie. And yes, while we're seeing it to a degree here in southern Manitoba, it's much more intense over in the northwest and through much of northern Manitoba for for that matter. We're also tracking this line of very scattered, very disorganized thunderstorms. That's from the remnants of a trough that's likely to give a little flare up here or there for areas in and around the Interlake and into eastern Manitoba this afternoon. Meanwhile, we mentioned those air quality issues, those warnings persisting in the northwest, a good chance of those expanding into the weekend as the wind does shift. We don't have warnings in effect, though we do have that smoke. In fact, I saw Portage La Prairie. It's quite intense in your neck of the woods. For us, 30 degrees with that lingering haze, winds out of the southwest at 20 kilometers per hour, sunny persisting skies throughout the afternoon and into tonight as well. We do get a couple clouds coming. 20 degrees, those southwesterly winds persisting, not doing a ton to move out that smoke. And yes, to that degree as well, a couple clouds rolling in. Then tomorrow, a bit of a turn. Our temperature staying pretty steady at 29, but a low pressure system is likely to bring rain and maybe some thunderstorms off and on throughout the day. Winds ramping up alongside it, which could cause some issues with those thunderstorms as well, though it's not totally clear when it's going to hit, likely late morning, early afternoon. But it tracks out very quickly. Saturday, we're clear and sunny at 29, and by Sunday, even hotter at 30 degrees. We're going to take a break, but don't go anywhere. Plenty on the way on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Democratic Senator Peter Welch appealing to U.S. trade czar Jamieson Greer to improve relations with Canada after he said tourism to his state has dropped 40%. He was one of several U.S. senators grilling Greer on tariffs on Wednesday after U.S. President Donald Trump lobbed new threats at Canada. Now those threats looming large as Canadian premiers meet in Charlottetown, in part to calculate next steps. Alphabet raising its capital spending forecast to as much as $205 billion this year, reigniting concerns about a lack of fiscal discipline in the race to dominate artificial intelligence. Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon reporting next week. Now in April, they forecast $725 billion for their AI ambitions, and Alphabet's earnings report means that will likely be higher, raising further fears about the return. Also reporting after the bell was Tesla. And it, too, said spending was up and only going higher. In the earnings call, Elon Musk said we should be spending on CapEx as fast as we can, spend as fast as we can without it being too wasteful. Tesla is down in trading and off 17% for the year. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Well, a beautiful painting or print can instantly transform any room, but filling your walls with art can quickly empty your bank account. An upcoming art show is breaking down those financial barriers and making art more accessible. Art Spot's under $100 art show is happening in downtown Winnipeg in just a few weeks. And joining us now with the details is founder Emma Justine. Good morning, Emma. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
First off, what kinds of art can people expect to see at this exhibit?
So the show has everything from paintings, prints, photography, like traditional wall art, to accessories, jewelry, textiles, ceramics, pretty much anything that you can think or that you can make, you'll find at the show.
Now, every piece of artwork at the show, it costs under $100. Why is it so important to keep those costs down?
Right. So we're all about accessibility, right? Like, I'm an artist myself, and I would much rather many average people have a piece of my art than, you know, service 1% of people that can afford to buy kind of expensive, higher end artwork. So we believe that art is for everybody. And the idea is that what artists will lose in discounting the large pieces that they bring to the show, they'll make up for in volume of smaller pieces, regular priced items, prints, that type of thing. So artists tend to do very well at the show just from the mass amounts of arts that, that they're selling.
So this really does support up-and-coming artists by giving them that exposure?
Oh, absolutely. Artists sell more at the show than they do selling their work like year-round for regular price. So, you know, we just are sort of shifting the framework of how we get art in the hands of people. But this show is really exciting for artists because, you know, you show your stuff at markets and art shows and you hope to sell a piece, right? But this is a unique experience where you see people lining up, like rushing in, pulling art off the walls like it's Black Friday. So it's really validating as an artist.
Now, this show's been running in Calgary for 19 years now. Why bring it to downtown Winnipeg?
So we have slowly started expanding because it's become so popular in Calgary. It's actually really hard to get in the artists who want to participate in the show. We have 2 weekends in Calgary now. So we expanded 3 years ago to Vancouver and Edmonton, and those shows have grown. And now we're making our way east. So I've always really loved Winnipeg. It has a vibrant art community, and as far as bringing it to downtown Winnipeg, we really want to contribute to like the momentum that's happening about revitalizing downtown. And we think what better way than, you know, bringing almost 70 artists to come together to do this exhibition downtown.
You've sold me on this. When and where is this show happening here in Winnipeg?
So it's going to be from August 13th to 16th on the second floor of Portage Place Mall in an empty department store. So tickets are on sale now, and you can find info at under100artshow.com.
What else should people know before they come down that weekend?
Kids 16 and under are free, so it's a great family event to, you know, round up the whole crew. We like to start those art collectors young. We have lots more than just art. So we've got live music, there'll be under 100 tattoos, we have a bar. So even if you're not coming to buy art, just coming to experience it, like it's hard to explain it without seeing it, because it's like 20,000 square feet of art, ceiling to floor displays. So even just coming to take it all in as an experience is really something special. So come enjoy the live music, see what it's all about, and if you leave with something, bonus.
Awesome. Well, the under $100 art show is coming up starting August 13th. Thank you so much, Emma, for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
I'm going to check that out. Art is incredible, a great investment, and even better when you can get it at under $100. Manitobans are going to love that. Currently, though, Manitobans probably loving what we've got going on here in Winnipeg. 19 degrees. It is sunny, clear. I'm not loving the wind personally. It's kind of disruptive to my do. But also the other kind of factor here is the smoke. I get very affected by it in my throat. You could probably hear it. So look for that smoke to continue. Our wind's not doing a ton to shift around and move this smoke out of our skies. So likely it's going to linger for the next day to come. Meanwhile, pressure's on the rise, humidity sitting at 77%. So while the smoke is not wonderful here, it's definitely not ideal, degrading our air quality. It's even more extreme in the northwest at the source of those wildfires where that smoke is coming from. To that point, air quality warnings still in effect and are likely to be for the next number of days and could potentially expand as the winds are likely to shift. In that area, the northwest, there's also some very hot highs coming your way. Not ideal for the wildfire fight. They're peaking in the upper 20s to low 30s. Meanwhile, we are tracking some thunderstorms potentially wrapping around the very northerly corner of our province, bringing rain and thunderstorms to the entire region, northern Manitoba, that is, throughout the day and evening. For us here in the south, sunny, hazy, likely staying dry, highs in the low 30s to upper 20s, with those southwesterly winds persisting, but we too have a good chance of rain and thunderstorms into tomorrow. Speaking of the haze, it turned that sun downright pink in White Ridge. That's where Martha snapped this lovely, stunning photo. If you've got any weather pictures to share, meanwhile, we'd love to see them. Do send them our way. Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
The 26th annual Gimli International Film Festival is returning. Taya Zuzek joins me now, and she is the executive director of the fest. Tell us about what's on tap, because it's 5 days of films?
Yes, so it's 5 days of films. We show everything from narrative to documentary features. We have shorts as well, and a bunch of competitions and special events as well. It's set to be a really exciting time.
And there's a huge incentive for emerging filmmakers. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, so this year's our 15th annual RBC Emerging Filmmaker Pitch Competition. So stakes are high, $15,000 plus over $20,000 of in-kind production value from industry partners. And the winner leaves with that and a premiere next year at the Gimli International Film Festival 2027.
Oh, wow. And you kind of touched on this already, but the events.
Yes. So we have lots of special events this year. So we have a Filmmakers Mingle, an official after party at the Gimli Pavilion. We also have our Artoba cold read at the Interlake Brewing on Thursday. So a lot of ways for people to connect. We also have our beverage gardens and our Sober Beach patio this year, both of which will also help with networking and just talking about films after you've seen them.
Oh, that sounds delightful. And there's a raffle too, just another way to get involved.
Yes, so our raffle is a big way to support our operations, and this year it's an all expenses paid trip to Iceland, which I think is a very desirable prize, and you can leave at any time with the WestJet direct route from Winnipeg to Reykjavik.
No doubt. We're almost at a time, but real quick, why should people come?
This is a really amazing festival and a cultural experience like no other, and we should be really proud to have this in Manitoba, and it is just a really amazing community event.
Thank you so much, and another reason to explore our beautiful province.
A musical duo in St. John's is still pinching themselves after a brush with fame at a hotel bar. The pair were performing a small gig when one of music's biggest names took the stage. Here's CTV's Garrett Berry.
It was this singing voice that inspired one of the music industry's biggest stars at a gig in St. John's.
She runs up to the front of the stage and she was like, "Can I sing with you?" And I was like, sure, still not clicking in who it was.
Who it was, pop music singer Kesha. Just an hour or so before she took the stage at a music festival, she joined local artists, Julia Dawson and Bruce Smith, for a song at a local bar.
Once she came on stage, you know, she had the vibe going, she was dancing, and it just felt incredibly natural.
She was harmonizing and singing, and I was like, oh my God, it's Kesha next to me, like 2 feet from my face.
A pinch me moment for the young duo, who are working to build a music career at home in Newfoundland and Labrador. Kesha even posted online about her drop-in performance, writing on Twitter, "Incredible voice, I was stunned." Maybe this moment in the spotlight could build into a crescendo and push the duo to bigger music careers.
I hope that it brings more recognition to the work that we're doing, and that, you know, more people will come check out our work as the duo and what we do as soloists as well.
The dream would be to go on tour and show people my music and, you know, do the thing, be the person, you know, that everyone wants to see.
Either way, it will always be an incredible story and a point of pride.
Like the ultimate, like, mom lore drop. It should just be like, when I have kids and stuff someday, I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, one time I performed with Kesha.
Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
Traffic moving along Notre Dame Avenue. We have more from CTV Your Morning Winnipeg coming up right after the break.
A look at our very smoky skies right now. 19 degrees in Winnipeg. The winds out of the southwest this hour at 18 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure is rising. Humidity sitting at 77%. Yes, that smoke definitely linger in the south, but not to the point that we have air quality warnings in effect. That could come, but they have been prolonged, particularly in the northwest, where those wildfires are burning, causing those smoking conditions, as are some wildfires as well in northwestern Ontario. So we're kind of surrounded here. So yes, those air quality warnings not likely to be lifted today. In fact, they could very much expand into the weekend depending on where the winds go. However, there is some good news. An incoming system that's kind of wrapping around the northerly parts of the province, likely to bring rain and thunderstorm to Thompson and Island Lake off and on throughout the day. If not today, tonight certainly. And then into Gillam and Churchill, staying dry for the day. However, tonight you're likely to get doused as well. Temperatures through this region likely our coolest part of the province, which isn't a bad thing considering those very convective conditions coming your way and with all those wildfires. Then to the northwest, I mentioned how that system's wrapping around the north. You can see those northern communities have that chance of rain and thunderstorms, while past Quebec, Cree Nation, the Pond, Flin Flon likely staying in the sunshine, and yes, very dense smoke indeed. Highs there above seasonal. We'd like it to be cooler with those wildfires peaking in the upper 20s. Southwestern Manitoba, hazy, smoky in Brandon and Neepawa. That chance of rain and thunderstorms in Dauphin and Swan River. For us here, much the same. Temperatures hot, above seasonal, in fact, with those strong southerly winds at 20 kilometers per hour. Lots of sunshine and lots of smoke. Northwestern Ontario also dealing with the remnants of wildfires, potentially some thunderstorm activity for you. Temperatures peaking in or slightly below seasonal. Overnight for us, couple clouds here or there. Smoke definitely likely to be a factor as well. 20 degrees overnight. And then tomorrow, we too should be breaking out those umbrellas. Rain and thunderstorms likely off and on throughout the day.
A member of the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service has been arrested, accused of breaching a protection order while on duty. Police say last Wednesday, the 59-year-old man was in uniform and driving a fleet vehicle when he drove into an area in violation of an order he was under to keep a certain distance from a protected person. The domestic violence unit assumed the investigation and he was arrested Tuesday and remains in custody. A police spokesperson says work-related considerations are taken into account when a protection order is issued, and the member was working modified duties at the time of the alleged incident. If you've been putting off getting your car inspected for hail damage, you're going to want to move quickly. MPI is winding down its Main Street Hail Response Center. The Crown Corporation says it's doing this in order to focus resources where they're needed most. The last day for appointments will be July 31st, and those scheduled through then will remain on the books. Starting August 1st, the center will return to offering its regular estimating appointments. MPI's Gateway Center will continue offering initial hail assessments. MPI says it's responded to over 34,000 weather-related claims since early June's storm. It's been 1 week since 11-year-old Parker Wells went missing. Calgary police say they're not giving up hope.
We are far from believing that Parker must be dead. We still believe there is a strong hope that he is alive, and I see no reason to abandon that.
Parker went missing from his day home last Thursday. He's neurodivergent and nonverbal, but police say he has the skills to survive. They're asking homeowners and real estate agents to look through empty homes for signs of Parker. People are also urged to check and recheck spaces like garages, sheds, and underneath decks. Calgary police say they're working through more than 400 tips. Scientists believe they have discovered the reason behind mysterious black patches that are showing up on fish in Canada and the U.S. It turns out it's a form of transmissible skin cancer contained to a particular kind of fish. CTV's Jean-Pierre Beauchemin has more on the potential lessons about how cancer is spread.
Below the surface of majestic Lake Memphremagog, researchers discovered a strange phenomenon, a contagious cancer spreading among brown bullhead catfish.
One of the things we're thinking about is this actually more common and we just don't know about it?
The finding opens broader questions about the spread of cancer generally, but also about environmental stressors. Anglers began flagging black velvety growths on their catch more than a decade ago, concerned there was a virus or a pollutant causing disease.
They were concerned about seeing these diseased fish with these, inky black tumors.
Wildlife biologists eventually determined a rare skin cancer was afflicting more than a third of brown bullhead catfish in the lake. DNA testing eventually led U.S. scientists to conclude the cancer was actually spreading from fish to fish. They hypothesized it started with one catfish with a tumor shedding cancerous cells. Now, this is only the fourth type of transmissible cancer identified in the animal kingdom, the first in fish or freshwater species. Contagious forms have also been found in the Tasmanian devil, clams, and dogs. The discovery could help study melanoma in humans and perhaps other cancers. Could it tell us more about potential transmission of certain cancers in humans?
I think it could, in humans as well. The cancer is avoiding the immune system somehow.
There's no evidence that cancerous catfish cancer could spread to humans. Still, wildlife officials warn anglers not to eat the fish with tumors. Researchers are asking anglers who find a fish with a black patch to report it so they can get as much information as possible. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Magog, Quebec.
A look at our current traffic situation, moving quite well in the Norwood Bridge there. Share those updates to us at 10,400. And a look at your gas prices in Winnipeg. The average is $1.74, a small increase compared to yesterday, and the lowest price in the city is $1.57. All this information is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
All right, well, it's time for your answers to our question of the day. What's the best ice cream place in the city? For Susan, it is BDI. Amanda says Sub-Zero, hands down. Brittany shared Sergeant Sunday, and the walk across to Assiniboine Park is perfect. She ain't wrong there. Also, Sergeant Sunday and Licks for Marlene. Dustin likes Doug and Betty's for ice cream. A viewer texted Fett ice cream and coffee. Ice cream made in-house with the absolute best tasting flavors. Doug and Betty's has the best ice cream, shared another viewer. Sergeant Sunday has best ice cream in the city for Wendy. Leslie says the best ice cream place is actually out in Selkirk at the Snack Shack. She loves their soft chocolate ice cream. A close second is the concession stand at Grand Beach. A viewer likes Utopia in West St. Paul. Best little ice cream shop features their toffee made in store. Sandy shared, I don't know about Winnipeg, but in Gimli it's Beach Boy all the way. And for Matthew, one of the best ice cream spots in Winnipeg is Chaban Ice Cream on Osborne. Thanks so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
Lots to talk about ice cream here, Ainsley, and out there in East St. Paul. You've been talking about cycling all morning. What are you up to now?
Somebody asked me the other day what my favorite ice cream parlor in Winnipeg was, and I think they saw the light go out of my eyes because I was having this mental conundrum in front of them. Like, I can't pick. I'm an ice cream fiend. So those were all some fantastic answers. Yes, we are talking about cycling with Sarah. And it's been a brilliant morning so far. Sarah herself is joining me once again. You guys have a lot on tap, whether it's your community initiatives, cycling like we're doing now, but also there's a film about you guys coming out.
Yes, we had a film made last year by a local videographer. The company was called Handcraft Creative, and it was called Finding Community. And the New Zealand Big Bike Film Night, it's an international bike festival. Out of 300 entries, ours was one of them chosen. So it is going to be screened here November 19th at the Big Bike Film Night that the Manitoba Cycling Association puts on.
Wow. What is it about your story and the story of this club that you think really interests people?
I think it's the community piece. I think recognizing how bikes, when we get together on our bikes, it creates a community where people feel like they belong. They look like they belong. We're all wearing the same kits. And I said, I think it just, as we get older in particular, loneliness, there is a loneliness epidemic. And this is something that sort of deals with that.
Mm-hmm. And you're bringing community, inviting more community to the Forks coming up. What's that all about?
Well, on August 1st, the Tour de France Femme is starting, and so we are going to do a celebration ride. We're all going to ride to the Forks, and then one of our members has put together this great presentation all about the tour, and we hope to we want the public to come down and see us and take part in the presentation, and we have some live swag for them as well, to chance to win.
Wow. Today, you're doing a group cycle with over 30 women. What do you anticipate?
I think it's going to be quite fun. We're going to head up Hodnot. We'll make quite the picture, 30 of us, and head off to the Duff Roblin Trail. So it's going to be great.
Well, if you're driving and you see 30 women rather, or more in these outfits, just know it's Sarah and the girls.
Awesome. Great work this morning, Ainsley. And Catherine, your last check on weather up on the roof, it looks a little windy out there.
Yeah, the cyclists going to be battling some breezes, yes, pushing against the winds depending on what direction they're coming from. The directions the winds are coming from, meanwhile, from the southwest at 18 kilometers per hour. That's expected to be the case throughout the day. 19 degrees currently, let's get it correct here, with lots of sunshine, but a good amount of smoke. Not my favorite thing. Much of Manitoba, of course, dealing with those smoky conditions. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 77%. So here in the south, sunshine and smoke is the name of the game, unfortunately. Outside chance of rain and thunderstorm activity once again in Swan River and Dauphin, but for the most part, clear, dry, and yes, very hot. Highs in the 30-degree mark for Winnipeg and hovering around that throughout the region for other highs. Meanwhile, the northern part of our province, still those ongoing air quality warnings in effect in the northwest due to the wildfire situation. Good news is, I feel like I say this every day, there is a chance for rainfall today. It's wrapping among those very northern communities through the day and then likely descending further south overnight. So if areas, the Pas and Opaskwayak Cree Nation likely staying dry today, but hopefully getting some rain tonight. That's the case for us here in southern Manitoba as well. While we'll be dry overnight, likely rain and thunderstorms joining us in Winnipeg tomorrow. Temperatures holding on though, a hot high tomorrow of 29 degrees. I'm going to head inside, cool off, fix my hair from these rude winds, but stay with us. So much more. Your Morning Winnipeg just on the other side.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A new warning this morning from health experts about the dangers of wildfire smoke going far beyond just the lungs. As CTV's Pauline Chan tells us, it also poses an increased risk of dementia.
One bad day won't cause dementia, for example. But the problem is that we're increasingly having bad day after bad day after bad day. And if people don't take the right kind of precautions, then they're just increasing their risk.
Alison Secular is the chief scientist at Baycrest.
Air pollution in general can cause inflammation in the brain. It can cause changes in the ability of the brain to repair itself. It can cause all kinds of other issues and introduce different kinds of poisons and toxins basically into the brain.
She says the particles are so small they can cross the blood-brain barrier. And it's not just trees that burn. Buildings and vehicles also release toxins into the air.
Things like carbon monoxide will be in there. There are things like benzene and formaldehyde.
She says genetics are a small part of our risk factors for dementia, but the ones we can control go by the acronym BRIGHT. B for body movement, so make sure you exercise daily. R is for rest and relaxation, also important for the body's health. I is for involvement.
Socially and cognitively. So social engagement is really highly critical.
G is for glasses and hearing aids, an under-recognized factor in brain function decline. H is for heart health.
If it's good for your heart, it's actually also good for your brain.
And T is for toxins such as alcohol, smoking, and air pollution. So on days like mid-July, when Toronto had the worst air quality in the world.
So for me, if it's a 4 or higher, I minimize any kind of strenuous activity outside. And on a day like a 10 or a 9 or an 8, I would try not to go outside at all.
Secular says precautions such as an N95 mask are a good idea, especially for older Canadians. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Meantime, how fast you walk may play a big role in the health of your brain as you age. A new published study links quickly paced seniors with less cognitive decline. CTV's Alessia Fieldberg has more about these super movers.
Fast on your feet may be just as important for keeping your mind sharp as doing brain teasers and crossword puzzles. It's not surprising to these fitness buffs in their 70s.
Part of healthy living as we get old to keep the mind and body active.
As you get older, you have to continue moving, or otherwise you just fall apart.
Researchers behind a study in neurology journals found people in their 80s who maintain a much quicker walking pace than their peers are far more likely to stay mentally sharp. Researchers say these super movers walk as fast as people about 30 years younger, and as they aged, they tended to preserve the volume of their brain's hippocampus, the part associated with memory.
We're seeing that the super movers are experiencing about 50% less cognitive decline compared to their counterparts who are not super movers. That's pretty significant.
At the average walk speed for people in their 80s, you can cover a kilometer in about 19 minutes. Super movers may be able to walk a kilometer in about 14 minutes.
I would recommend going 4 miles an hour, which is 6.4 kilometers an hour, or greater on the treadmill.
While this latest study focuses on walking, other research indicates the type of movement doesn't matter so much as long as you stay active.
We still go out at night and we go dancing on the weekends and stuff like that, so we're trying to keep young.
Since I've retired, I'm at the gym more. Pickleball the other 2 days of the week. I think maybe it helps to prevent dementia a little bit.
If you're consistent and keep up the pace, it could pay off for both your muscles and your mind. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
A Florida senior's new license plate has become a topic of conversation among her family and friends, with opinions split on whether or not she should keep it. Joan Murray reports.
And I didn't know I was getting a plate.
When Nancy Delastrita went to collect her mail, she got quite the surprise, a new license plate with her vehicle registration renewal.
And I looked at it and I said, I don't think so.
The plate reads SQZ-A55, but from a distance, those 55s can be read as S's. Well, you get the picture. Squeeze blank.
I don't think a woman that lives in a senior community that's going to be 77 years old next month will be driving around with what this plate has to say.
The plates become the talk around her retirement community, especially the men. We were with her when she showed it to one of her 89-year-old neighbors.
And this is what I received from the DMV for my new license plate. That's good for 10 years. Good. Good?
Florida license plates have been made at a state prison in North Florida for almost a century. Then they're funneled through the county agencies. Nancy's plate was mailed from the Broward Property Tax Collector's office. We went there to try to help her get some answers. It's a question about a tag, if you want to replace a tag. And while no one wanted to talk on camera, we were told anyone unhappy with a plate can turn it in for another one for free.
I'm kind of resigning to it, and I figured maybe it was just destined to be on my car.
So for now, Nancy's keeping the tag, although she is planning to let the state know about it. She'll see the reaction when she goes public with her new plate.
I can handle it if I get a few honks here and there. Actually, being over 70, I might like a few honks.
That's the attitude, honestly. She's going to be a hit down there in Florida. All right, 19 degrees out there, sunny and smoky. Winds out of the southwest this hour, shaking our camera around at 18 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity at 77%. Air quality warning still ongoing in the northwest. No surprise to the folks living there. That smoke has been so persistent and, yes, so thick for you. Look for those warnings to unfortunately continue, likely in the days to come, and potentially expand as well. Temperatures aren't helping the wildfire fight whatsoever, because look at us in Winnipeg, 30 degrees, similar temperatures expected in northwestern Manitoba as well. Southwesterly winds likely persisting, as does that smoke. Overnight, skies stay partly cloudy and smoky, 20 degrees, and then into Friday, things take a bit of a turn, not in terms of our temperatures, still holding on there with a high of 29, but then a good chance of rain and thunderstorms off and on throughout the day. Pocket of sunshine or two expected as well. We're taking a break. Your videos of the day still to come.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
All right, Catherine, well, if you're heading out on holidays, this is a good reminder to not believe everything on social media. Emily is showing the real side of Niagara Falls, which is very wet and very windy. Everyone gets drenched while taking in the majestic falls, which is the complete opposite of the serene boat ride she saw on Instagram.
I mean, she got to experience a little bit of everything. She got her money's worth. What's the issue?
Now on to another reality check, this time from her significant other. Was quickly humbled after she saw the photos her boyfriend takes of her. She thought she was pretty until she saw the pics, but it's obviously he loves everything about her, especially her silly side.
I can relate. Sometimes I see those pictures on my boyfriend's camera roll and I'm like, is this the way he sees me? Is this the way I am? Offended.
Well, people in Colorado had a surprise after an unwelcome intruder became locked in a car.
John's got his cool rope for some reason. Now, why would he have a rope? Let's see. Oh.
That is a bear sitting on the passenger side of the car. The man filming and everyone else didn't seem too upset by the bear after it locked itself in. Eventually, a long rope was used to open the door, allowing the bear to get out and scamper back into the woods.
Call conservation.
Have a great day, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.
There he goes. And out he runs.